Welcome everybody to Fables from the Pickled Quipper. We're not going there today, um, because we're in a whole different universe. Well, we're in the same universe, but just over to the left a bit. We are taking a little detour this week back into the Dales. I know you've enjoyed our previous episodes from the Dales from all of the feedback we've got. So we're back again for another one by popular demand. Now, last time we had a bit of a... I don't really know what to call it. I mean, from my perspective, a complete dice nightmare, but for everybody else's perspective, a lot of... Oh boy.
Oh, that's
a lot of profiting. But there was a visit to an inn in Moon... Tassel. Yeah, there was a lot of tassel involved.
There were a lot of tassels. Yes,
it was in the tassels, I think. Moon tassels and the
Lane.
tassels near Arch Tassel. Yeah, it was getting a bit ridiculous. But some of our previous adventurers, Rodri and Chasseur, met with a new fellow, Gerhard. It'll vary depending this evening. And through some shared fun, they formed a bond and invited Gerhard to join their little band of mystery solvers. Their warlock friend was kind of off doing errands and has had to take a bit of a break from the mystery solving. Now, the good news is that one of their old friends, who they occasionally have worked with, Ulrich, is in the area, and they have been invited by the town of Essembra to solve another mystery. I guess for the sake of just reminding people, because who knows how long it's been since our last visit to the Dales. Just a very quick reminder of everybody's character. Rodri, you're first on my screen. Just a quick...
Right. Hello, I'm Rodri. I'm a light brown-skinned, blonde-haired elf. Approximately 6.5 feet, give or take. And I am a knowledge cleric who worships the god Ogma.
Nice. That's excellent. I forgot you're an elf.
Well, half-elf, but you know.
It's,
It's much the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Chasseur.
Speaking, I am Chasseur. I am a tabaxi rogue with a specialist training in the way of the ranger. I well, there's not very much else to say, really. I'll stick around, find out.
It sounded like you were going somewhere else, but then, but no.
It's like
Gerard.
the bus got cancelled.
I don't know.
Human, fighter, battle master, young noble, who is pretty green around the gills.
That's right. Yeah, I think that Phil is a furbolg and that you're a dwarf, so this is gonna really mess me up. And Ulrich.
Evening, gentlemen. I'm Ulrich, fighter, hill dwarf. He's kind of just past his prime in age. Was lieutenant in the guard of a large city and is retired, but does do some contract, investigation. When it becomes available and when it catches his eye, he kind of that retired guy that has trouble. He doesn't really have too much else to do, so.
Alrighty. Now, Roger and Chasso, you have worked with Ulrich a few times before. Gerhard, this is pretty much your first kind of meeting. And you find yourself having, and this is actually your first job with the group, you find yourself in the small town of Essembra, which you guys would know being relatively local, used to be a flourishing town, like back maybe a century ago. But it was, you are in the Battle Dales here, and this town was actually abandoned half a century ago due to a particularly fierce local battle between some humans and a group of elves from Mithranor, which is a big famous city, which has also had its issues. But yeah, it's now in this year, or the last few years, is beginning to kind of show signs of trying to repopulate. So the town is trying to put itself back together, a combination of sort of old locals kind of creeping back from the countryside, and new blood kind of moving in and trying to capitalize on what could be a regrowth here. Population is still not very big yet. It's sort of maybe in the like 100 150 range, so still relatively on the small side. Yes, Essembra. Yeah, exactly like that. That is correct, Essembra. But yeah, it's kind of on its way back, I suppose you could say. You all find yourself on a rainy, slightly stormy morning outside an inn. Now, I know this is the classic way that all Dungeons and Dragons tales begin, but this inn is not open for business. It is closed and has been closed for many, many years. It's been empty effectively for a century. Back when the town was hustly and bustly, there was some odd goings on in the inn. A number of patrons staying there were found dead in their beds, despite the inn always being locked at night time by the owner. These stories have kind of persisted. It's kind of become legend through the years that there was something about this place. And, obviously it shut down a long time ago, was locked and boarded up, the key long discarded. But you find yourselves in the presence of 3 young lads in their sort of early to mid-teens. And you are all looking at the inn, and they have just explained, sheepishly, but coerced by the local lawkeeper, what had happened a couple of weeks prior, which is they all dared one of their friends called Stead, another young lad of the town, to sneak in to the inn and spend the night in there as kind of an initiation into the little gang and whatnot. He managed to crawl through a gap in a broken window that had been sort of like, kind of barred off, but he was small enough to be able to crawl in. And they watched him go in. He was supposed to spend the night in there, but to the best of their knowledge, he never came back out. And he has not been seen since. Eventually coming clean with the adults in town, they were forced to admit what they had done, and your reputation preceding you, you guys were asked to come and investigate the situation because Honestly, nobody else is quite willing to put themselves into what is kind of a legendary, I don't know, mystery, and not a good one. And so, yes, they have just explained that this has gone down, and you've been offered pay by the city to investigate this inn and see if you can find out what happened to the lad.
How much are we being offered?
Always about the money, eh?
Not exclusively, but it never hurts to ask.
You have been offered if you can find out what happened and even perhaps solve the mystery of the building. You have been offered 200 gold apiece. And you guys being you guys, you'll take anything. So you went for it.
What's the name of the place?
The inn, as you look up at the sign, is very faded, but it still kind of hangs there. It is called the Bold Banners. And there's a very faint picture of two banners fluttering in the breeze. The door, as I said, is shut, and it has been boarded over. The building's run down, though structurally looks pretty solid. It was a stone building. Looks like in its prime it's probably, fairly homely, nice inn. But obviously at this stage it is showing the wear and tear of time. It is 2 stories. You can kind of see that from here. And it's up to you how you want to proceed, really.
How many windows are there?
In the whole building, or just that you can see?
I mean, I'll start walking around and just take a look around.
Okay. There are on the bottom floor. There are There's a couple of windows at the front, either side of the door. A couple of windows on the sort of, I guess, the right-hand side of the building. 2 windows on the back of the building, and then another solid door that looks even more solid than the front door, and again has been kind of barred over. And then a couple windows on the left-hand side. It looks like the left side is kind of a little sort of extension. It's not part of that main structure, but it is, it's kind of extended on there. So it kind of sticks out a little bit.
Are those all?
Ignore that.
What's that?
I said ignore that. Sorry, I accidentally.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you're already getting some vibes here.
Yeah. That's too many windows.
Yeah, right. So is that all on the ground level, then?
Yes. On the upper level, there are like a couple windows on each side. Okay. Now the windows, if you sort of like, try and look at them, mostly they have been kind of barred over with metal bars from the outside. Looks like they didn't want to take any chances of people going in. And the glass itself is very, sort of clouded and dusted up over time. So trying to peer through is awkward.
And what time of day?
It's morning, sort of early to mid morning. But it's a sort of dark day, a dark sort of autumnal day. There is rain kind of coming down, so it's overcast. It's always raining when I do D&D.
Some of us never forget.
So is it from Florida?
Was there anything? Well, I mean, I guess. So there's 3 kids there, I guess. You said 3 lads.
Yeah, they sort of backed away, having explained their story.
Did they
they're
explain
just
which specific window their friend crawled in?
yeah, it's
Okay.
one of the windows on the side of the right of the building. And you know if you kind of walk around to take a look, you can see that there is just kind of the top portion of one of the windows has been kind of broken. It kind of has I guess probably wooden slats. I don't know. Like it's panes. So one of the panes got kind of broken out, and it's a small gap. So you assume that this stud was a small whippersnapper.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like his friends could probably squeeze in there. So you assume that either he's a touch younger or just a sort of lithe kid.
What's the general vibe? Is it like on a scale of like 1 to haunted?
From the outside, I'd say it's a
Oh,
6
that's
or
high.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can kind of see that it used to be a nice place, but with the kind of darkened windows, the bars over everything, a little bit of dilapidation, the roof kind of looking a bit creaky. It's not given off sort of, you know, it's a rainy day that puts it up at least 1 on the haunter meter.
Ontometer.
Yes. So yeah, it's definitely a bit on the weird side.
Is this building owned by anybody? Is it just abandoned?
At this stage, it's abandoned. Nobody owns it. They've just kind of left it here because nobody really wanted to deal with it. It's kind of on the outskirts of town, so nobody has to really deal with it. There's actually a lot of buildings that are still abandoned, or you know, some of them are being built back up. As you came through town, you can kind of see people working on some of them. Some of them are not worth it, so there are kind of ruined buildings, just kind of like outlines of walls. Some have already been built back up to a nice state, and other people are just kind of starting fresh in the same area. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of ruin and development. You kind of can see that a lot of the buildings that were sort of closer to this one, people haven't really bothered working on that. You know, I don't think anybody really wants to build too close to this one. So it's kind of it is now sort of slightly separated from town in that way, but it's not far enough away that you can't see any other buildings.
So I do not want to get cursed by proximity, no?
Exactly. It has a reputation of a century, so you know.
Well, we have our reputation as well. Well, do we?
That's right, we do.
You're just telling each other this.
We have to pump ourselves up.
Okay, yeah.
Is can I talk to one of the kids or whatever?
Yes. Which
Okay.
one would you like to talk to?
The one that looks the smartest, I guess.
Roll a perception check. No, roll an insight check. Sorry.
All right.
Now, Rich,
Yeah.
I know technically I have run a cleric while you've been DM before, but
Oh my gosh.
how do you prefer to deal with the guidance conundrum?
I'm not a big fan of post guidance. So I think here's how I like to see guidance. I like to see guidance cast when somebody's going to do something that you know. So say you're like, "Oh, go check out the door," or if they say, "I'm going to go check out the door" or something, you can be like guidance. But if they're just sort of thinking internally, no guidance. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
As a side note, I'm a little iffy on how much they guidance on Critical Role. I understand, but I feel like there's a lot of like loose guidance. Or guidance. And also the guidance myself. I'd say if it's something that you're doing that you know you're going to do, premeditated, I
Yeah.
think that's cool. If you're reacting to something, or it's just something you do casually, so I would put it in your hands to think what's reasonable. Does that sound all right?
Yeah. No,
That's a
that,
lot of power for him.
Let me just put
In
this on.
fairness-
Power, though. It's good vague
In
power.
fairness, if I deem it unreasonable, I will veto it.
I'll just add this permanently modifier. There we go. Global skill modifier 1d4. Selected. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like
Every
to think of
6
it.
seconds he's going, guidance.
Yeah,
Ogma
I
guide
might have
me.
needed some.
Ogma guide me. Ogma guide me.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Kids
it
was
gets-
right as 3.
maybe it can get used too much, so I would prefer it to be on like premeditated things if possible.
That's absolutely fine. Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't know how you like to run it in your groups, Phil.
I don't think I have a cleric, so.
Okay.
Well, wait. I do have a cleric.
Oh, you
but
do have one.
I don't think
Out of
she
all her
uses it.
cantrips, I don't think she has guidance.
That's 50.
I was gonna
I
say,
guess she probably has it available, but maybe she doesn't use it.
Maybe. She has a, what do they call it? Selection.
I don't think she's ever used it that I know of.
I don't
don't
remember
think
her
so.
using it.
Not
It
that
may
I
be.
can recall either.
Analysis
think-
paralysis.
I think, in fairness, like she may be doing the same as because I sometimes I like to avoid those like really,
Hmm.
well used spells in favor of other spells. So maybe
Yeah.
she might be kind of going that route.
She's also very. When she has a character concept, it's like hardcore to that.
Yeah.
It's actually it's hard to see Claire asking for guidance from her unicorn god. Like I'm not sure that would occur to her to do that.
Yeah.
She's too in the
What you're
moment.
saying is that she needs guidance.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I
so this would be a good example. I feel like in this sense you wouldn't know to guide.
No. I
Uh,
completely agree. I wasn't
but if-
thinking for this one.
But if Garrod was like, "Oh, I need to work out which of these guys to talk to," if only I was more perceptive of people, then that would be fine. Now that said, please don't do that every time you're going to take an action, everyone, because that would be super annoying.
Hey, Roger, you want to guide me on this?
So won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
I think you'll find
so-
that sometimes Ogma helps those who help themselves.
There you go. Yeah, Phil has the option to use guidance whenever he likes, but he's never going to use it.
Sweet. Is that a cantrip? I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's really the only issue is the fact that it's cantrip.
Yeah. Which, of course, it's not in Pathfinder 2e, right? Isn't it a spell?
We do not speak of that here.
Cantrip? Is that what you said?
I thought it wasn't a cantrip.
It is a cantrip, but
It works differently.
you can use it once per hour.
That's right.
Once you use it on a target, it is immune to that ability for 1 hour.
So technically you can use it once per round, but you would need a lot of targets.
Yeah, or what's cool is you can, like, say you're all taking turns jumping a chasm or something. You can kind of take a second, guide everybody as they jump, but then you get to another thing where they have to tight walk, over something, and you can't do it again. You've already kind of used it.
Take a 1 hour break.
But it's cool that
So-
you can use it on the whole group. Kind of.
So you constantly find yourself coming up against double obstacles. You're like, what are the chances that there are two chasms?
And then the rock walls right after that. and-
yeah.
It's
Just
just a
just
whole,
makes an obstacle course to make sure.
the ball pit. Yeah.
Yeah. Garrod, you look at these three and you think, which one looks the most intelligent? You find yourself unsure because none of them look super intelligent, but you settle on Sam.
Okay.
Sam is a he's the most bookish looking of the three, which is not saying a lot.
Is he a hobbit?
He is not. He is human. They're all three human.
Oh. Okay.
Just
I was gonna ask him.
harshed his
About,
buzz, man.
Yeah. Asking him about second breakfast, but anyway. So
he is
yeah.
cooking up some. He is cooking up some potatoes while you talk.
Oh, sweet.
Underrated.
So I'll just, I'll look at him and I'll ask, well, like, so the stories that are associated with this, do you know if there's any special circumstances, timing, time of year, anything along those lines?
What are you going on about? What story? Oh, about the inn? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's haunted, isn't it?
Well, so it seems, but is there an uptake during a particular season or event, some portion during the night? Anything that could kind of pinpoint what activity this might be?
I mean, no.
All right, then. Thank you.
Like, I mean, it's haunted.
Yep, that'll
That's
do.
why we.
That'll...
That's why we. Okay.
Yep. No, thank you. I just turned around. I was like, well, okay. So yeah, let's. That dog won't haunt. Let's go inside.
And as they walk
guess.
off, you hear Don saying, "I don't know why he asked you, Sam. I'm so much more knowledgeable in the history of the area." Oh well, missed his chance now. To the library.
Whilst Gerard was saying that, or inquiring to Sam, Shasir was behind him, kind of like spinning in circles with his arms stretched out, kind of like looking straight up to the sky, sort of not like drunkenly, but he's just kind of like spinning in the rain, and casts primeval awareness while he's doing that.
Okay. Alrighty.
And he's limiting it to 1 mile.
Okay, so 1 mile. You want to know how many? Oh, no location or number. So as you spin in circles, and your mind kind of closes in, and kind of closes in and reaches out at the same time, you search for aberrations. Nope. You search for celestials. Nope. You search for dragons. Nope. You also search for elementals, fiends, undead, and fae. 3 of those 4, you don't get a hit off. But there is something of the fae in the air.
Huh. Yeah, as while he was like spinning, he was just kind of like, no, and he goes, ha.
Yeah, the kids aren't disturbed by this at all.
What are you looking at?
They scarper.
Well, it seems there is something about this place that is a bit different. It's not just a rumor or a legend. There could be some truth to this. As I say to the group.
As you do, a fairy flies past and says, "Oh, hey guys."
And that is it. Never mind. We continue.
Just heading out shopping.
There seems to be a presence of the Fae somewhere.
It lands on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's like it just buzzed by.
I just sort of wave and say, I mean, I'm a little bit of the Fae. Was it just you getting a tingle from me?
You're used to Rodri's particular tingle, and this was a different tingle.
No, it touched me in a different way, Robbie.
Righto. So maybe sort of pure Fae.
Yeah, a bit of
James?
a stronger.
James
What?
Purefay.
100% primo Fey.
It took me a second.
So yes, you four are left alone in the rain with a strange feeling.
So my thinking is we just need to open up one of the entrances, be it a window or just the door, whatever, pry it open somehow, and start investigating. I dare say it's going to take us a while. Here's what I'm wondering. I'm contemplating doing a little ritual here. Only takes me about 10 minutes or so. But what I'm wondering about doing is just seeing if I feel... Oh, you having difficulties with me? Oh dear. Hold on.
Royalty, you are seeming to speak in strange lips.
Have you been affected by the Fae, Roger?
I
Quick,
shouldn't think
I am
so.
down.
Oh, it's using the right microphone.
No, the mic's fine. I think it might be worth you blipping in and out of the.
It would like
The group
lag,
real
and
quick.
then like for me, it would speed up and try to catch up. Like your video would speed up to try to like catch up from the lag. I think.
Wait,
I was losing you in portions of audio.
Yeah.
so are you losing
Yeah.
me in audio or video or both?
Audio for me.
I'm just noticing audio.
Right.
Audio, and then the video would pause for a second, and then the video would like speed up to catch up.
Let me downgrade the quality of my video. It accidentally zoomed in at the same time. I apologize.
I think you hit zoom and enhance instead.
Right. I'll drop out of the call and jump back in. Hello?
What do you mean he joined the call?
Don't be silly. Right. How's this sounding? Am I any better?
Maybe.
Let's find out. So, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, if we can afford it, I'd like to spend 10 minutes just going through a little ritual I know. It'll give me an idea of... Honestly, my first thought is, let's just go through the front door. Anyone object to that as a theoretical point of ingress?
I do not object. It is certainly a theoretical point.
Very well. Just looking around the front of the inn,
Yes.
is there a porch or shelter or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Are there any pieces of wood or anything just sort of like laying around?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll just sort of look over to Ulrich and say, would you mind just holding this over me? I'm just going to sit down here. If you wouldn't mind, I just want to stop these from getting wet. And I'm going to reach into one of my pockets and pull out a deck of cards. I prefer to do it out in the open, but I don't want the rain getting on them, you see.
Ulrich grabs it and holds it out, and he's a dwarf, so it's a little short, so you may have to...
Oh, I'm going to sit down, it's fine.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pull
I was
out...
going to ask real quick before you get doing while you're doing that, Roger. Does anybody have a crowbar or anything like that? I'll start working on the door.
I do not have anything of that ilk, I'm afraid.
Seems like something Chasseur would have.
Wait, hang on. Do I have something of that ilk? Bear with me. I can
Not to
never
besmirch
remember.
your name.
I have a mess kit. Maybe I have like a metal spork or something in there you could use.
Bardor would be prepared for this.
Well, Bardor's not here.
You think we all would be?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I'm
No,
a
I know.
I'm a young noble who doesn't know what the hell's going on. So, um, well, okay. And I just kind of like walk over and I just start sort of like using my sword to kind of start prying things and pulling it off, and using my hands a little bit here and there, and like whatever's easier, and sort of doing
Okay.
that while Roger's doing his thing.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, so I will ritual cast augury.
Okay. What is the course of action you plan to take?
Enter through the front door and explore the house. In tavern.
That's a fancy
Okay.
spell.
I've literally never used it before, but for one thing, I have no choice. I have to take it, so I figure I might as well lean in. Learn how to use it, make the most of it.
So as you sit in the rain with Ulrich holding a sort of piece of like a plank from an abandoned building above you, keeping the cards mostly dry. It's quite stormy. Um, you kind of concentrate on laying them out, and as you do, you kind of pull into your own head and just kind of open up for whatever guidance may come your way. Um, as you do this and you stare at the cards, you see the pictures on the cards sort of almost morph in your eyes, and you've at least learned what you're supposed to look for, um, or what would be considered good, what might be considered bad. Um, the pictures that you've laid out seem to take on both aspects. You see some sort of become more flowery, you see some become more almost doomed looking, um, and you feel like it's a bit of weal and a bit of woe.
Okay, so I sort of look and eventually sort of uh, compile them back together and put them in a nice little pouch. And you would see. I mean, these are pretty fancy looking cards. Um, sort of gold edged, very fine artwork. Um, and he sort of slowly stands up and says, "Thank you. You can put the board down now. Appreciate that." Um, Well, it's a little disconcerting, to be honest. I have a feeling that while while I could interpret this in a couple of ways, my suspicion is that going through the front door is perfectly fine, but exploring the inn itself is going to be dangerous and potentially disastrous. So, you know, that's my takeaway.
You hear sort of not too far away the sounds of exertion and creaking. Gerard, roll me a strength check. Um, not a strength
Yes.
check. Let's do an athletics with disadvantage
Okay.
because a sword is not the perfect um, substitute for a crowbar.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh,
Oh,
Two.
So you get the first beam away, and you feel, oh, this is not going to be too bad. But as you're trying to get that second one, you almost can feel your sword kind of creaking, and you're like, I probably shouldn't damage this. I might need this later. So you sort of go to try and actually like pull it off, but it's pretty firmly wedged in there. There's like 3 bars across the door, and you kind of get stuck on that second one. And Rodri kind of comes out of this little vision, kind of hearing you in the background, sounding frustrated.
Hear me going 999.
Do you need help, lad?
Yes, that would be good. Thank you.
I'll toss the plank to the side and see if he can. I don't have too much better, but maybe a battle axe would be a little bit more leverage. I don't know.
If you guys want to work together, I could have Ulrich roll an athletics with advantage.
Go for it. Yeah,
I'll reach up and I'll say, Ogma give you strength.
If only there was a way to be guided through this process.
There you go.
I just did.
Okay, so athletics with advantage. Am I rolling it? Oops.
I think so, because you're using your axe.
And then d4. So, oh yeah, 25.
25, not bad, not bad. It doesn't quite beat the 30 DC though, so your axe breaks. No, you find between you using the sort of the haft of the axe really gets the job done in a much better way, and you peel that second one off no problem, the nails pulling out, and the 2 of you just kind of tug the third one off at the bottom, and it appears the bars have been removed. The way is clear.
Frankly, I think it's astounding that we've managed to get past the door so quickly. I feel like doors typically provide very difficult obstacles for even the most experienced adventurers, so we've done very well there.
I'm certain the hard part is over.
Yeah.
Is anybody else still losing Phil?
Yeah,
well, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
just here and there.
The good news is the recording's picking me up just fine.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, we just need to interpret you then. Okay.
Yeah. It's like Mad Libs, but just in our own mind.
Gotcha.
D&D Mad Libs.
Yeah.
Well, Ulrich doesn't mind stepping in first if nobody else seems to step in front of him.
I don't mind
Maybe
you stepping
just-
in first either.
Maybe just peek his head in.
I may have left in front of you.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you're heading in.
Oh yeah.
All right. As you turn the handle and head on to the inn, you find it's also locked.
And it would have been a running attempt to turn the handle, so he's like, oh,
You find yourself very much experiencing some blunt force there in the face.
so much quicker. Stop than I expected. No. Okay, let's try this a different way. I'm gonna whip out some lock picking tools. Shakes
Alrighty.
my head and kind of kneels down and gets eye level with the door. Says, "I got you this time."
Have at it.
I cannot picture Wario. I can't.
Wario.
I don't know why. I can't. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. Did you roll?
Yeah, sorry, 17.
You're all right. I was looking at your. So yeah. 17. You pop your lockpicks in there, and despite not being a fully fledged, rogue of many years, you've had enough practice for a door like this. The lock is not too difficult to pick, and you click it into place satisfyingly, and know that you have successfully navigated this problem.
That could have been impossible if it was not for me. It's a good thing I am here. I'll open the door.
Okay. You open the door. As you do, you step into the inn proper. It's pretty dark in here. But you can see all the telltale things that you expect. I guess you probably have some kind of good vision, right?
Regular dark vision, 60 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you can make everything out well enough. There is a sort of dust hanging in the air, coating everything. There's sort of cobwebs in the corners. The bar in this particular inn is directly in front of you. It sort of stands in the middle of the floor space, and there are tables kind of scattered around. Looks like a sort of circular staircase that heads up to the second floor, you presume. To the back of the inn, there are actually two banners hung from poles that look like maybe former, standards of maybe regiments. But most disturbingly, you see before you a bearskin rug. Now that's not the most disturbing thing. The most disturbing thing is what is on the bearskin rug, which is the figure of what you'd presume to be, young to mid-teen. Unmoving, on top of what looks to be sort of blood, honestly. You would guess? Blood, or maybe a large ketchup order?
Like clothed and like.
Yes.
And lying on the rug.
Yes.
In what fashion?
I would call it. I would call it fetal position.
Fetal. Okay.
Ulrich gets out his chalk.
Gonna do a quick scan of the room just to.
I'm gonna light a torch because I don't think I'll be able to see very well.
I was just about to ask.
Alrighty. So yeah, you light up the torch, and it does bring to your eyes everything that I just described.
Okay.
All right. Positioning, looking just real quick though. So, is he in the center of the room? Is it like to the right, to the left, near a balcony?
To the left, to the left. I'll tell you what. I will. Let me show you. In a manner of speaking. Let's fog this thing up. And let's.
This saves me from hand drawing a map.
Over here. There you go.
It's dark.
Yeah, no, I haven't unplugged anything yet. Let's see.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
It's a box.
So here is where you were. This thing is weird sometimes the way it draws out. Come on, go to the edge. Doesn't want to. Okay.
Oh.
And here is what you are looking at. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of that bottom bit. Yeah, so you've kind of come in through the bottom of the picture there, through the middle door. To either side of you are sort of obviously long burnt down candelabras, a scatter of tables, the bar in the middle of the room, wooden flooring, kind of general debris around, nothing piled too high, but just sort of, the wear and tear of the building gradually breaking down, and maybe stuff that just got left whenever it was abandoned.
Did you see my my little note there? I tried to say it, but I think I may have cut out again.
You scan the room looking for immediate threats. Roll me a. You can do a perception or let's call it a perception check, seeing as you're kind of doing a general scan.
How'd you do that in red?
You do /EM and then space, and then you type everything after your name.
Oh.
Very nice. So with that 22 perception check there,
Yes.
you don't see anything immediately that troubles you beyond what is immediately there troubling you.
Understood. I sort of relax ever so slightly.
Yeah, you see a little light creeping into the room through the windows, but barely any. You see the one particular. Now that you're inside, it's very easy to see that one pane that was broken on the right-hand side.
Was it the top one? Okay, there.
That's where it is. I would ping it myself, but I'm terrible at pinging.
I guessed right then. Okay.
You did.
Does
You did
the-
guess right.
Oh.
Does the body have any? I mean, is there any obvious cause of death
Um,
or any
roll
obvious
me
injuries?
roll me an investigation.
Oh, that's good. 22.
Oh boy. 22 solves the mystery. Good work.
He just
No.
taps his hands together. Well,
Good work, everyone. So yeah, you kind of crouch down, not too far for you really, and a ninja suddenly makes his way into the room.
I was just using that as a marker of where we're at.
death by ninja.
Okay.
Hey, you gave me
Mystery solved.
that as Rodri. You said that was Rodri, so that's on you.
Apologies. Yeah, you kind of crouch down and look. It's a sort of slightly fuzzy-faced youth. You can see on looking at him, maybe he is a year or two younger than the other kids. But yeah, with your 22, you kind of examine. The strange thing is that there's no kind of there's no real smell apart from like a little bit from the blood that's kind of dried a bit into the rug at this stage. There's no kind of smell of decomposing. You kind of check around for wounds. You don't see any. And the strangest thing of all is that as you look directly onto the face, you see what looks to be like frozen drops, frozen to their face,
I have to
under
step away
the
for
eyes.
just a sec.
Okay.
Like a frozen liquid.
Yeah. Like just a couple of little kind of icy droplets. But it's very strange because there's no obvious sign of death.
But he is dead.
Yeah, that the 22 is enough to tell that he is dead. And cold to the touch.
And I forget, you told us how long has since the kid went in here?
It's been a couple of weeks.
Oh, weeks. Okay.
Yeah. It took the kids a while to be willing to own up to it.
So I'll share that with everybody else, just my observations.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, just through everybody's general passive perception, it's a little chillier inside here than it is outside. It's not fridge cold, but it's like, ooh. It's like stepping into air conditioning.
Do I feel like I would gain anything by giving a more. I'm curious to try and ascertain cause of death. I suppose we've established that there's no wounds that could cause the amount of blood that we're seeing. But is there any way to figure out what might have actually killed him, beyond what Ulrich has already done? Or would I think that that's probably as much as we're going to get right now?
I think if you kind of do another check over, which I think is fair enough, you being a cleric, I think Ulrich kind of points out what he's found, and your sort of follow-up investigation doesn't show anything beyond that.
Okay.
You kind of investigate those things, and then you just kind of check over with your little bit better medical knowledge, but find, nothing that explains, no stab wounds or such things.
Is there? Well, I was like, does it appear like the blood? Like, is there any like smears on him anywhere? Like, maybe it came from like his ears or his eyes or something along those lines.
No.
It's just blood.
It's just blood. There's nothing to suggest where it came from.
Okay.
How bloody is he?
Sorry, Phil.
Oh no, you're fine.
It's a decent sort of, I mean, at this stage it's not necessarily a puddle because it's kind of dried into the fur has absorbed it somewhat. But it looks like a decent amount. Sorry, Rodri.
How much blood is on him?
None.
Even though he's on the rug, it's not really on him.
I suppose in fairness, I would say where he was,
like where he's contacting,
where he was touching. I suppose that it is a bit damp.
So, I think we can reasonably assume that this is not his blood.
Did whilst I was away, did anybody check for a pulse?
Well, we did confirm.
Gerhard asked if he was dead.
Yeah.
And Ulrich did a good enough investigation to rule that out, and then Rodri backed him up as well.
So
wait, to rule it out, so he's alive?
To rule out life.
Life, okay. So yes.
And I don't
gone.
I don't know when you disappeared, but they found no real signs of decomposition, no real wounds, and kind of like a couple of icy drops of liquid on his face.
I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to spend the time here. I'm just going to go ahead and cast Detect Magic in a non-ritual way. Just concentrate on that for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Go ahead and pull it up for me, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I could do it myself, but I feel like you'll be faster. Oh, you were faster. Okay. Noted.
So we found the boy, and obviously it's sad that he's gone. We could take him to the local authorities. Since nobody seems to want this place, why don't we just try to burn it to the ground?
This would not exactly solve the mystery. Partially why we are here.
Well, if there's nothing left for them to worry about, then they wouldn't have to worry about this thing again.
But would that guarantee us the 200 gold?
Yeah, seems to me that might just be kicking the can down the road. Whatever's in here may just move elsewhere, potentially.
I would hate for them to lose, this young villager and, There's something more they would lose. But
Which is
I will return to you with a better answer.
Well, it
it
could
just-
be dangerous for others.
We are. This is true as well. We are here to. We are mystery solvers, not mystery burn down inners.
I mean, couldn't it be though that by taking this place down though that it would solve the problem?
Could be, but then we don't get to unmask the person and go, "Ah, it was you all along."
Maybe we put arson in as Plan B.
It's not arson if they don't want it.
Maybe we put fiery conflagration as Plan B.
Okay, fine. I have a torch. I'm just saying.
And I kindly ask you to keep a firm hold of it.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna sort of like casually walk around the room.
Just casually.
Just
like-
sort of, you know, like walk around the tables, get
On the tables.
around the tables. I do see that it looks like there's stairs leading down,
Up.
up.
To-
Okay.
To a balcony or to just
Um,
Upper door.
you were told enough to know that this is an inn that had upstairs lodgings.
And then this door over here. What does that look like? That's leading to.
Oh,
Is it open or is it closed?
it is swung open
Okay.
somewhat.
I will stick my head over and just sort of peer in without really trying to nudge the door too much, if possible. I'm just gonna peek.
Okay, as you look in, you see what looks to be the kitchen.
Oh, very cool.
Now, as you're going around the room, what are you trying to do here?
I mean, as much as anything, I'm just sort of like vaguely observing just for anything out of place, but mostly I'm kind of just focusing on my spell, trying to see if anything is sort of getting my spidey senses tingling.
Okay. So something does trigger your spidey sense. And as per usual, I have to look up the schools of magic. Every time.
You know, the problem is, most people who have detect magic, you tell them what school it is, I don't know what that means. I mean, if it's evocation, sure, I know I'm about to get a fireball in the face, but like a lot of the other ones, I'm like, huh?
evocation is obviously an aggressive spell.
Yes. But here's the thing, like abjuration sounds like, you know, that's like things like shield and stuff, but it's also glyph of warding,
Oof.
which is
Protection.
blow up in your face.
And transmutation is this candle is actually a spoon, but it's also this candle is actually a dragon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything has the potential to be something dangerous.
Okay. So we are going to go for.
I like this confidence.
I hate this. We're going to go for abjuration.
And where is it coming from?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah.
It is coming from both of the banners. It's faint, but it's there. It's
Okay.
present. They perhaps were of a, you know, a magical nature in their day, hence why perhaps they've survived all this time in relatively good nick. But yeah.
Okay, well, so far the only thing that I'm picking up is vaguely magical is those banners over there. Which is odd. I don't think I would have expected that, if I'm being honest.
What's everybody else doing whilst you're doing that? It looks like Chasseur is doing something on the bar.
I was actually gonna be.
come in.
Ulrich's just waiting outside.
Telling me not to burn the place down.
Alright.
Don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't do it.
I'm not coming in until you put that torch in.
I was actually gonna kind of like listen for anything unusual if it was not sounding too. If the sound of rain wasn't too, I guess filling the air too much.
Roll perception for me.
Okay.
Very good.
23.
So you note, you actually note that there's almost a sense that the sounds of the town and everything fade away when you get inside. It's subtle, but it's almost too quiet in here. There's sort of an air of like deadening of sound. Not fully. It's not like you can't hear each other talk.
But everything's just more quiet than you would suspect, really.
Yeah, as you know, people move around and maybe Rodri kind of shuffles past a chair. The sound that the chair makes kind of jars you because it's so noticeably loud, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, there's a sort of hush over the place almost.
Just exhaling. Is there like anything with like my breath, or is the temperature in here?
It's not cold enough
Normal?
for that. But it's cooler than you'd expect. It's definitely like there's a bit of a chill in the air. Like you want to turn it up a couple of degrees.
Can I check for kind of take a look at the window where the kid, we assume he came in, and just see if like maybe there's so much dust or maybe debris that there may be like tracks in here?
Yeah. Investigate for me.
11.
11? Okay. So you do. It's pretty easy to see. Like on the window, you kind of see like fingerprints. Like on the inside of the window where maybe he used it to kind of, you know, get in. And then you are able to kind of see tracks. It's at this stage it's got a little trickier because Rodri's done a bit of a walk around because you're able to follow the tracks from the window in sort of does this ping? Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can kind of follow them from the ping from the pingdo from the window. They kind of lead between the tables, and then it gets a little bit confusing because Rodri's kind of walked through here. I'm sure Chester has been charging around the place. Got a case of the zoomies. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a little
I just
tricky
knocked
to
his
tell,
cup off
but-
the table.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
until after we had already started walking around a little bit, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's sort of you can kind of see where it looks like he came in at least. Maybe like initially it looks like the footsteps kind of lead away, but then like sort of more to the back of the inn. But then you also like when you come back next to the bar, you do see his footprints kind of lead over to the rug as well. So it looks like maybe there was a bit of wandering before he theoretically settled down.
can I also look at the bearskin rug, like maybe underneath it? Is it? Does it seem to be pretty normal? Anything?
Yeah, you can kind of you sort of roll it back and have a little look. There's nothing kind of unusual underneath. The bear looks well, it's definitely dead.
It too is dead. Ah.
Yes. It doesn't have a
Nice.
pulse or anything to provide it with a pulse. Um,
Cause
but
of
no,
death
there's
being turned into a rug.
yeah. No, there's nothing that you can ascertain from the bear that looks what you wouldn't expect.
So those banners,
Yeah,
I would like to see like if I like recognize them or anything like that, as far as um,
yeah, sure. History
allegiances
check
and
for
stuff like
me.
that. Yay! Oh, hold on. That would be,
We'll take the first one.
yeah, which is 15.
15, yeah.
Okay.
So you don't recognize them specifically. You don't necessarily know what the regiments were. They both look regimental. But it's hard to tell. But they do look like they are Sembian, which is one of the I don't know if you want to call it a race or a society. But it was one of the sides that was involved in the war with the elves when that took place. And they both appear to be of that origin, maybe for just two different regiments. But yeah, you wouldn't know. There were so many regiments, and it's kind of
Right.
deep history now. It's hard to go beyond that necessarily.
Does it like could I mean I doubt it, but could I place a time frame on those?
It's hard to tell because, especially now it's been established, their sort of magical nature. It's actually a little hard to tell because magical items don't necessarily wear with the same. They're dusty, but now that you can kind of actually, now that you know that they're magical, you can kind of see that it's more. When you first came in, you assumed that they were just kind of like tattered and old, but now you kind of realize it's probably just layers of dust on the fabric that makes them look as tatty as they look. So it's hard to place a time on them. But you would probably, I guess your history would probably be enough to know that they haven't been at war for as heavily for a little while. And knowing the history that was provided about this place, you would guess that it's probably. I mean, you figure it probably has to be 100 years. Or no, you guess it has to be at least sort of 50 to 100 years, at least. Were they from before that? Hard to know.
I'm gonna step into the kitchen and have a little rummage around and just see if there's anything out of the ordinary in here.
Are you? How are you? What are you doing?
So I'm gonna step in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take a quick glance around to see if anything looks off. And then I'll literally start sort of like opening cupboards and moving things around
Okay.
just in case, and eventually move my way into the storeroom as well.
So roll me an initial perception check just as you enter.
$16.
I'm going to assume you said 16 there. I thought I saw your mouth move.
16.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, as you kind of look around, I think it's more evident in here than it was in the initial room. But you note that the kitchen itself, like the like the oven, the tables, the preparation instruments are all what you'd expect, relatively basic, workman-like objects. But the artwork that is up on the walls, some of the little sort of statuettes that sort of, sit on at the edge of tables and such. It's actually really quite fancy. And it jars you more in the kitchen, that they're sort of out of place in a sense. Like, it's not really what you'd expect in a kitchen. So that just kind of like is odd. You might expect like a little sort of poorly painted floral scene, but instead you have a beautiful portrait of an elf in the forest. Stuff like that. You might expect like like maybe a kid's constructed, little whatever the D&D equivalent of plasticine is, model. But instead you see like a little marble statuette depicting, like a ancient hero.
Does any of it look religious in nature? Or just artistic?
Does any of it look what or just artistic?
Religious.
I'm trying to discern what that word was. Religious?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Does any of it look religious? Some. You could. I mean, there's not a ton in here. But the like the little statuette, for example, that could easily be a sort of depiction of perhaps a religious icon of some kind. The painting just looks like just art.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily anything that ties them together as well.
Okay.
It's not like, it's not like a collection of something of the same nature.
I'm gonna stick my head in the storeroom as well, just to see if.
Okay. Roll a dexterity save.
Oh.
Oops.
That's a 6.
6. Okay. As you kind of peer around the door, to get a look what's in here, you hear a slight sort of shuffling sound, and you try and step back because it's so quiet that even this jars you, but you're not quite quick enough, and as you go to step back, a bag of flour spills in front of you and onto your shoes.
I see. Does it seem dangerous in any way?
The flour?
Yes.
I mean, it's probably past its sell-by date,
Mm.
so I would not advise baking with it.
Fair enough. I will not bake my shoes. Any other immediate concerns from the storeroom?
Some of the other bags of flour also look a bit precarious.
Understood.
You imagine that with a bit of a clumsy maneuver, you could probably ruin the whole flour stock.
I mean, that sounds like it's ruined already, just
It's,
based on the expiration dates. But,
yeah. But outside of that, it just looks like general storage of food products.
Okay.
Most of which is so far past the point of being past their sell-by date, they don't even smell bad.
So I'm going to sort of walk back into the main room, leaving slightly white footprints.
Yes. Very disturbing for anybody that goes to investigate after you. There's going to be a big mystery.
So it's mostly clear in there, although there's some rather exceptional artwork that I'm at a loss to explain.
Kind of art.
There's a rather dashing portrait of an elf. There's a little statuette. Might have been some sort of obscure religious figure, just based on the style. there's a couple of other pieces that it just I don't imagine we could probably go to every kitchen in every tavern from here to Waterdeep, and I doubt we'd find anywhere as nice as this. It makes no sense.
Maybe like a personal shrine or something.
It didn't have that feel to it. They weren't connected, you know. The portrait was very high quality, would look good in any sort of, you know, manor house. But it had no connection to the little statue, which again was very high quality. Probably worth some money to someone. Could be worth money to us.
So it was elvish in nature, though?
Well, the elf was elvish in nature. The figure, did the figure look elvish?
No, the figure looked human.
Yeah, the statue was not elvish, looked more human.
Or at least sort of portraying human.
Could have been, you know, God in human form or what have you.
This has piqued my interest, so I'm going to go in and take a look at it to see if I recognize it.
Watch out for the flower.
Okay.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
When I walk into the...
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hi. 17.
Okay, you as you walk into the kitchen, you nearly step on a. You nearly kind of slip on a particularly peaked pile of flour that must have fallen off the top of his shoe. But thankfully, you keep your wits about you and are able to step over it.
I'm so happy.
This is new levels of ridiculous, and I love it.
Roll me a. I guess we'll do a. What are you looking at?
Well, I mean, if it's anything that's not really, I'm not really particularly, I don't think well versed in like anything that's elvish in nature, but like just seeing it, like basically anything with historical context or anything like that. It's
Okay, well
something along that.
I won't make you roll here because you won't be able to roll high enough.
Sweet.
Because the picture is of just a nice looking elf. It doesn't strike you as necessarily anyone of great historical value. It doesn't look like a historic painting. It looks like a sort of just a nice portrait that has been painted.
So that like along the lines of like maybe like a family portrait, maybe.
No, it feels more artistic in nature.
Okay.
It looks like somebody's kind of expression of art.
Okay.
And very nice quality. You agree with Rodri that it could, it could grace a nice manor, so it'd be worth a bit. You imagine? To somebody that enjoyed the subject?
Yes.
Chasseur, are you gonna have to roll me a dexterity save?
If I'm wandering into the room, yeah. I guess I say I am wandering into the room. So I reckon. Oh, jeez. 18.
18. You also notice that pile of flour just in time, and you are able to somersault over it unnecessarily.
Dramatically.
Yeah, landing on the preparation table.
Very skilled of you.
I was quite tired. I figured I would take a break.
Chasseur, your passive perception is pretty ridiculous. Actually, so is Rodri's, but Rodri kind of came in three. As I would say probably the both of you, because Roger, you came back out, right, and explained this.
Yes.
So I think as your sorry, I'm trying to check everybody's. No, you're not very good. I mean, no offense. Gerhard.
No, it's not that great.
And oh, what is going on with Ulrich?
Oh yeah.
You've
It's a
discovered
observant.
the secret trick of
Ulrich sees all.
yes.
I imagine. I guess
His third
probably
eye
would've made
appears on
my
his
way
head.
over there eventually.
Ulrich really has solved the mystery before anybody else. um, no, so the three of you notice Gerhard's just busy, making sure he doesn't step on any more piles of flour. But the three of you, Rodri, Chasseur, Ulrich, as you're having this conversation, you begin to notice um, in the main room of the tavern, now that it's been mentioned about the kitchen, you actually begin to see that there are nice paintings on the wall here, and there are figures on some of the tables kind of like collected together. That as you look, you realize, oh, that's not just like abandoned plates and such. That actually looks like, is that gold you see glinting beneath the dust? Um, and oh, that's not just an old tatty picture. Actually, probably if you brushed it off, that would be quite nice. Like if you pulled the spider webs back, you kind of see really nice paintings, and you see that there are little collections of fine artwork, sort of spaced around the room. In a similar random vein, nothing huge, but often they're kind of smaller pictures. The objects are, maybe like a nice golden plate, or a necklace with fine jewels in it. There's even the odd kind of beautifully bound book, some historical, some just sort of novels. But the thing you note with each of these things is they just shouldn't be laying around somewhere like this. The quality of the art should not be on the walls of when the tables that they're sitting on are very basic, but the artwork itself is beautiful, each piece. You don't see anything there that looks bad or untasteful. And you sort of go around and kind of dust things down bit by bit and realize, oh wow, this would be worth a pretty penny as well. That's beautiful. And it's just a sort of constant surprise. The room is not filled to the brim with stuff, but the little piles that you had assumed were nothing special are more special than you thought.
This mystery grows ever more with every bit we uncover. What do you suppose all this is doing around here?
Well,
Especially... No, go on.
in the very briefest sense, I suspect it's the reason why our friend here is deceased. That's about all I've got, though.
I'm on the same page. Well, we have exhausted this floor. Shall we proceed to upstairs?
Nothing's going on with that suspicious-looking carrot, correct?
Oh, you noticed the carrot. Your perception truly is high. The carrot itself is it's oranger than you'd expect, but definitely past its sell-by date.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Do I have permission to test something? And any objections? I have a theory.
Okay.
Do explain.
I'm going to pick up, let's say, Are there any of the statuettes out in the main room as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do yourselves a favor and just be prepared in case something decides to attack us all of a sudden. And I'm going to...
I'm going to draw my sword real quick then.
I jump on the bar.
I'm going to pick up one of the statues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dust it off. I'm going to reach into another pocket, and I'm going to pull out my opal. Sorry,
Before you
pearl.
do,
Yes.
you as you pick it up,
Yes.
you hear a voice,
Ah.
and the voice comes from the stairs, and it says, "Oh, no, no, no." And I will have everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
On reflection,
You didn't.
what I should have done, I'm realizing now, is I should have anticipated some sort of harm and cast resistance on myself first.
Or at least guided your own hand, or maybe in the process.
Oh no.
Good work, everyone. Good work.
Luckily, I rolled a 2 because that gave me
gets us king.
that gave me a 1.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, 9.
And
12.
I will tell you what that is about
21.
after our 5-minute break.
Oh, suspense.
After these messages.
Exactly.
Brought to you by. We gotta have to have. We need a brought to you by. Brought to you by cups of water. Get them from your sink.
Now, I can't help but notice that Rich and James seem to have gone for the same hairstyle.
I mean,
maybe James
I
isn't
don't think
quite
I've
as
ever been
short.
accused of having a hairstyle, Phil.
That's true.
I
Certainly not style.
basically have given up on life.
Oh, so you
No.
have gone for the same hairstyle as me.
Well, it's just easier. It's just like, I don't care, just cut it short.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, Amanda does it, so I don't have to pay any money for it. So.
One of these
Well,
days, I'm gonna go all in.
I don't have to pay any for my hair either, James. Just so you know.
That's true. My hair doesn't do the nice thing that yours does, though. It goes into like this nasty red afro thing. So might sound cool, but it's not.
But think of the money Eli has to spend on shampoo that you're not spending.
I suppose that's true.
And conditioner.
You're not helping my case very much.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all
I see him
sure-
come.
Because you know
I
he's
see him
got
come into
conditioner
the
on there.
store. He comes into the store every week and buys 7 bottles of shampoo.
Rich, shh, you're not supposed to tell.
Sorry.
Earl Grey.
No, I think it's some sort of chamomile type thing. I don't drink tea, so I'm a little scared about this, to be honest.
I had Milo's sweet tea here.
Did you move
so-
to America, or did they kick you out? Just curious.
Some are column A, some are column B.
It's a mutually beneficial agreement.
So yeah, your wisdom saves.
We have succumbed to the flower.
I'm pretty sure I'm dead.
So as you all turn to see the source of the voice, you see standing on the stairs what looks like an elven figure, but the skin is pretty blue. It's sort of an icy blue. They are a female figure, slight of frame. They kind of have a combination of blue fabrics and kind of like small armaments on them. Also in that very kind of bluish shade. And you turn and look, and just a wave of like just deep sadness passes over all of you, including you, Rodri. But you are you're a man of much resolve, and you're able to kind of push it out. The others are not so prepared, and you find yourselves just unable to really want to do a whole lot. This just depressing aura just kind of cuts into you. The rest of you are considered charmed currently. Rodri, you are not, though.
Now, would I recognize this as a charm type effect?
Roll me an Arcana check. I'm actually going to have you roll a simultaneous perception check.
That was pretty simultaneous.
Okay, yeah.
18 Arcana and 19 Perception.
So you don't fully recognize what's going on, but you do. Between the two, you kind of notice that your friends don't look quite as alert as they did moments ago, where, Gerhard had his sword kind of at the ready. He's kind of dropped it to his side and is just kind of like, the looks on their face is a look of, just kind of like contemplation and almost grief. I don't know that this isn't necessarily something that is being cast per se, so it's not something specific you can put a finger on. And you can feel the effect yourself, just this deep sorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, you other guys, right now, like initially, you have disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Where is Ulrich on in the world?
Ulrich is here.
Oh, yeah, he is giant, as expected.
There we go.
Would it be a bad time to ask a little bit of like our knowledge of Ulrich, as if like since we've known him before, to Spencer, like what kind of a general character, like
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe like
personality and
we
like
fought with him. Yeah, he is. He's kind of very well prepared. So, like, in a few times you may have had to fight with him, like he is very measured in what he does. He may even kind of bark out orders to other people if he thinks that's going to help. Kind of a cautious patient. That's kind of his demeanor anyway.
okay.
Very observant. Does much more. He kind of comes across as not as maybe smart as he is. He's not. Kind of got like a really good, like an old cop that just kind of has like that gut feel that you just kind of learn after time.
Okay.
Does that kind of help?
Yeah. There's a general idea of the Ulrich we know
And love.
and love.
And he is kind of like a. He's not like a super, like, damaging fighter, I guess. Like, he's kind of more defensive than offensive, I guess.
Okay. He sounds wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's good.
And how old is Ulrich? He's a little aged.
Yeah. I don't remember his exact age, but
I mean, if he's old.
yeah, past, like just recently kind of retired. So I don't know, for a dwarf, what would that be like? Maybe
100?
Yeah.
I think they can live up to like 400 or 500
I
though.
was thinking maybe 300, maybe something like that.
So I said 300. It just cut out.
Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bardor's a young man at 104, so or something like that.
Spring chicken.
Yeah. So, but I get the feeling your guy is like almost sort of like Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon. You just keep saying I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, I feel like he retired and then didn't have anything to do, so now he does this.
So dare I ask it? Oh, there's a person on the stairs.
Dun, dun. Is that what you're going to ask?
Yes, I was going to ask what's happening at this moment in time.
Okay, sorry, I
because-
wasn't sure if you were going to if you were just gaining knowledge from what you were asking.
I mean, I have a plan for what I'd like to do, and I think I have enough information that my character would make that decision.
Well, in as you're kind of, I guess, sussing out what's going on, she continues. I would prefer if you put that down.
I do so.
Thank you. How did you get in here?
Through the front door, actually. I just sort of gesture back to where the door probably looks a little bit worse for wear after we came through.
Oh, I see. Well, and she kind of looks over the four of you, and her eyes settle on Chaucer, and she says, My, what a fancy little cat you are.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He says sad.
Would you like to join me here?
So, well,
Would you
I'm
like
thinking,
Would you like to stay with me?
so,
You're not forced by this situation to do so.
okay, so it's just like if a friend was asking me this.
You just you kind of, I guess, consider them. You can't sort of, you wouldn't want to harm her.
Yeah.
But you are not sort of controlled.
Okay. I do not so sure about that. This is not my favorite location. It does come with a nice selection of fine art antiquities and treasures. But
Yes,
this rug,
you would be a fine addition.
I mean, you're not incorrect. However,
And she says, "What do you think, Eleanor?" And somehow, from the corner, you see another blue-skinned elf, similarly attired in again layers of blue cloth and armament, a sword at his side, very elegant, sort of beautiful features. And he just sort of stands with his sort of arms crossed, leaning back against the wall, and he says, yes, I see your point, but he seems fidgety. Oh, but he's so adorable. Well, yes. And it's been a while since we've had anything that moves. He looks like he would... Maybe the fact he moves a lot would be interesting. Exactly.
I'm statue still right now.
She starts to walk towards you guys. I don't know if you were going to do anything, Rodri, but you know there is a bit of time.
Now that she's advancing, I am going to start casting a spell.
Okay.
I don't know how she feels about that.
Are you trying to do what kind of like components do you have?
It's vocal and somatic.
So pretty obvious in a way.
Yeah. I would not be looking at her. I'm looking at my friends as they do it, though.
Uh-huh. Um, as you start to cast, as you start to cast, she says, "Oh, I wouldn't."
I keep going. I'll sort of I'll concentrate on where I'm at, and I'll just say, my friends don't see themselves. I'm just helping them out.
The so you can get your spell off.
Okay.
What are you casting?
I am casting a spell that I thought would not be used for this purpose whatsoever. That did not. Calm emotions.
Oh.
I packed that one today thinking, oh, we might be up against like undead that frighten us. I don't want half my party running away terrified. Turns out still very useful. So I target, all four of us. Because I think we're within 40 feet.
Okay. That is interesting, actually. So she started to walk towards you. She probably got like, she's an elf. She's probably got 10 feet. He has not moved. Now, where are you? You're there. Okay, you're there.
Mhm.
Are you going to reach everybody?
I can place it up to 60 feet away.
Okay, you can kind of center it. Do you just center it? Where do you center it?
Let's say I center it here at the end of the table. End of the bar, excuse me. Knowing that should cover everybody.
Whoops, that's not the right kind. Whoops. Stop drawing things.
I have had this problem myself many times.
Okay, let's go back here. So I need to do that.
And
So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20.
yeah, my logic here would be trying to suppress the sorrow, essentially. I fully expected this to be frightened, but we're going with. I meant the other end of the bar, if that helps.
No, sorry, you can position it if you like. I was just drawing it out.
I can't.
I think that's roughly about the right. So can you position it, or can only I position
I
it?
think technically you could give me ownership of it.
Oh, just point where you were putting it again.
In centered on this square, or if you need like a.
So how about there?
Yeah, it works perfectly.
Okay. Do you guys
Even Steg feels better.
want to roll, or do you want to automatically fail?
We know that we had this effect wash over us.
Yeah, I think you can kind of. It's not. It's hard to discern entirely, but it's obviously it feels unnatural. The level of sorrow you feel.
Yeah, Ulrich would fail.
Yeah, I trust Rodri.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't fight him because I don't really know what's happening. So,
Okay, I am just rolling for her.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay. Whew. She rolled two very different results there. Yeah, the rest of you kind of begin to sort of feel that kind of go away and like basically feel a return to normal. Although it's still very fresh in your memory. You can feel that pain, but it is somewhat resolved. And she feels the effect of the spell as well, and she says her whole demeanor changes, and she goes from this kind of somber, almost teasing. Her whole demeanor changes, and she becomes very angry looking, and she says, "No." And she will. Boy, I didn't necessarily expect this.
I may have messed up. I didn't think she was affected by anything.
She pulls from a pouch at her side a small smattering of hard to discern objects and just kind of flings them out in front of her and starts to mumble in a language that you don't understand. And okay, so that circle there, I'm just going to move it down a bit to. Hang on, am I seeing everybody here? Where is everybody? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I am. Okay.
Shulsa's hiding.
As she does, her hair begins to kind of whip around, and this kind of cloth begins to kind of like flutter in the breeze. And the cold suddenly becomes colder and colder, and you see above you almost like condensation forming on the roof, and then it gets thicker, and suddenly there's ice pounding down from the ceiling.
Ow.
Everybody of you guys roll a dexterity saving throw.
Definitely messed up.
Rodri, what did you do?
Whoa!
Okay.
Natural 20.
Dueling
12.
20s. Nice.
Alrighty.
And we don't have disadvantage from the charmed effect, right? That's not persistent.
No,
Okay.
no, that has been cancelled. You got the injured just in time. So let's see here. So that and that. Okay, not too bad.
My mind is racing.
So let's see, Gerhard, Ulrich. You guys suffer 4 points of bludgeoning damage and 13 points of cold damage.
Good gracious.
Yikes.
Rodri and Chesser, 2 points and 6 points. So 8 points total for you guys.
Good grief.
I guess I need to make a con save too, right?
Is calm emotions concentration?
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I didn't realize it's concentration.
That's what's scary about this right now. That's why it looked like my head's exploding on the token.
Looks like you're good.
Yeah.
Because you
I'm
suffered,
scared.
What, like 10, right?
8.
Or 8, yeah.
So yeah. I would have had to have taken a lot.
Just before anything else as well, seeing the change in that sudden change in demeanor. Hang on, I didn't even check to see. Okay, no, it's just a. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to draw out something else. So you kind of hear him mutter slightly as well, kind of like and lean up from against the wall, and Let's see. We'll do this.
I cast TPK.
I guess my circle doesn't need to remain, if that helps.
Your circle does need to remain because that's not your circle anymore.
Yes, I guess, just so you know that I don't need the circle anymore.
Okay, I got you.
Well, I think once targeted, they just stay targeted for the minute.
That makes sense. Yeah, you suddenly see funneling up as you're kind of like diving under tables and trying to get out of the way of this just hail of ice. As it subsides, you see a layer of ice across the floor, and almost out of the ice, you see a cloud kind of rising, a cloud of fog, and suddenly your vision is well, let's say it's hampered. As fog kind of clouds around you, you're in a heavily obscured area all of a sudden. And with that, I guess we're gonna have to roll initiative because you really,
I've accelerated things a little.
Where do
Yeah.
go, Rodri?
you cut right past the conversation, right into the.
Oh my gosh.
You know, Gerhard, about that torch?
Wow.
We are on fire. That's a 5.
Okay. Oh, somebody rolled it onto the turn order. That's impressive.
You're very welcome.
Oops.
Is there an easy way for me to
You could just right click
Let's
on
see.
each one
settings
and hit add turn, if that helps.
hit add turn?
Right click on each character.
Oh, on the
On the map.
Oh, on the map. Okay. Let's see. So we've got add turn. What's your initiative, show, sir?
5.
5. Impressive. Add turn. Ulrich.
5.
5 as well. Okay. Alright. And let's see, and then we've got Gerhard. Oops, don't need that. Where are you, Gerhard? There you are.
I have a 4, which was
Four?
which was a natural 1.
Oh, you guys are the worst.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I am gonna roll something over here.
Do these guys look familiar to anyone else? Because they look super familiar to me. Like, not 100% familiar, but familiar.
Yeah. I think the green one was Corin for a while.
Okay, so that's not really what I was going for there. If I'm being honest.
Let's see, so I'm just gonna put these on here. And where are you? There you are. Sorry about the takey-timey.
No problem.
I got a 0. Oh dear.
With those initiative rolls, we figured we'd be waiting for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, can you guys see the turn order?
Yep.
Is it meant to not go in numerical order?
What happened there? How did that... How did that even happen?
Just do click on the cog and do sort descending. You should be good.
There we go.
Phew.
Okay.
Feels a little better.
So, yeah, you sense like you sense that definitely there is an anger, um, and I'm gonna have to do that, I think. Okay. So, somewhere you hear a very faint shuffling of feet.
What is our vision in here? Completely obscured, or
Heavily obscured.
okay?
Um, and also, for the record, you guys are on difficult terrain
Jeez.
currently for this turn. So yeah, you hear a faint shuffling, and Rodri, you are first to respond, somewhat fittingly.
Right.
You're currently standing on ice in fog.
Right. Oh boy. What a mess. Do I have any idea that it's, can I tell that I'm near the edge of this fog or not?
Roll me a perception. Roll me a weather forecast.
A prognostication. That's a 16.
You feel like you can kind of see the edge of it.
Okay. I will move towards the kitchen then.
Alrighty. Good time for a snack.
Yeah. Do I feel better now? Am I sort of
Yes,
like...
you can kind of see now the bank of fog, and actually now that you've emerged, you glance over, you see the female elf back in her previous place with an arrow nocked in her bow, which she seems to be releasing in your general direction.
I had a horrible feeling that was about to happen. Right.
It's a 15 to hit.
Does not hit.
Alright, so it just pings past you and thunks into the wood behind you. And she just scowls and says, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that."
As you say, it didn't have to go down this way. While simultaneously uttering a prayer and asking for Ogma to smite her and do a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
It's a DC 14 Dex save.
Alrighty.
She's probably quite well set up for.
That is going to be... it's going to be a 19.
Right, good. And then bonus action, I will bring forth a spiritual weapon, which is just a large floating scroll that I'm going to put right in front of her in this square.
Okay.
I guess I could draw it. Let me swing first. So we're not waiting for me to draw. And yeah, I'm going to try and hit her over the head with the scroll.
Classic.
Ooh, it was hovering on the 12. That is an 8 to hit.
8 will not hit.
No, I had a feeling. And then I'm going to walk back in.
Okay. I like it.
And I'm yeah. I've already spoken, so I shan't speak again.
That's usually for the best. That brings us on to Gerhard.
Nope,
Is that not Gerhard? Sorry.
that's not Gerhard.
These pictures are too small. That brings us on to Ulrich.
Oh yeah, I think that's me. I didn't think it'd be going so soon, rolling a 5, but
Yeah.
can I also perhaps do a perception check to see how close I am to the edge?
Yes, you may.
Very well.
What did you get?
A 6.
Wolf.
A 6. You are a little bit. You kind of got a little bit lost with the wave of emotions, the sudden lessening of emotions. It's been a real tough time for you emotionally, and the fog kind of emerged before you really quite knew what was going on. So you're not entirely sure where you're at.
And I can't. Can I see? I don't know who that is on the table next to me.
You knew that you know that Chasseur is there.
Oh, okay. So I can kind of see him, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could I move in like a random direction if I don't know which way to go?
You can kind of hear him purring. You can.
Why is
I
he
guess the
purring
question
at a
would-
time like this?
I
Like
think you would know which direction everything was in a sense. You don't know how close you are to that. So if you're kind of moving, if you want to move to attack somebody, you kind of knew where they were.
Okay.
So you could kind of head to the direction you thought they
So
were,
if I
or if
was
you want to
trying
get
to
away
move
from them, you could move
forward-
away.
I gotcha. Okay. So could I move up here?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's half speed you're going, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I only have 25 feet of movement, so I'm thinking I could actually only get... Oh, I can't move my pawn. I'm thinking I could probably get here.
Let me see. Ulrich, where did you go? There you are. I don't know why I didn't change that.
Or I guess at
Maybe
25 feet I may only be able to move 10, so I may
should be
only
able to control him.
here.
Tell you what, I'm gonna kill that token. If you bring your own token in, maybe it'll let you move it.
Yeah, sure, that one hasn't worked well for me so far. So. Okay, how do I do this again? I
Just kind of like click and drag.
go to character sheets and then over. Okay.
Let me
There
just
we
make
go.
you a bit smaller. There we go.
So I was here, I believe, and I think with 25 feet movement, I think I can only get here, because I think I can only move 10.
Yeah, the rounded down screws slower moving player character.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah,
And then I guess I will dash, because it doesn't really have much else to do, so maybe I could dash there.
all right. Yeah, you sort of
So I
dash
come out and see this
wildly into
giant
the
scroll.
fog. Yeah. And as you emerge from the fog, you see a scroll trying to batter a perturbed-looking elf. The elf looks a lot angrier than last time you saw it,
Okay.
and it's kind of trying to pull another arrow out.
Can he draw the battle axe? I'm not sure if he had it up before, so I know I don't have more actions, but I will draw my axe.
Yeah, I'll give you an axe draw. Alrighty. That puts us to Chasseur.
Could I as well try to figure out where the closest direction to get out of the fog is?
Yes, perceive away.
That is a 15.
15. Where are you? Yeah, you can sense that it's a little thinner behind you than in front. You do get the sense that you're pretty thick in the middle of it though. But you have enough perception to kind of feel like, oh, that looks fresher over behind me.
I'm gonna start scurrying that way. Nifty little thing, however, as a tabaxi, I have Zephylan agility.
When you turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn.
I love that trait.
Oh, nice.
It's so
Very
good.
nice. It's free dash almost.
Yeah, with your permission, if I was on the table long enough, not moving, if I can use that as my standstill.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I think you get it the first time for free, right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think so.
just for funsies, roll me a quick dexterity save as you leap down from the table, because you're moving so fast.
Okay.
You can have advantage due to your agility, your feline agility. But you are in fog and ice. Okay, there we go. Yep, no problem. You kind of, as you hit the floor, you kind of skid along, but you kind of glide for a little bit and then start running again.
That sounds very Chaucer. He does one of those like no hands touching cartwheels off the table
There you go.
and
Nice.
slides. So 10, 20, and then 30 to get off of the ice. Is the ring an ice or is the ring fog?
The white ring is the fog.
And how much of
pink-
the ice is everywhere?
The ice is just within the pink circle,
Okay.
so you have escaped it. We've kind of made an accidental fog ice Venn diagram there.
Is
Okay, so-
is Rodri's concentration broken then?
What from?
From his charm breaker spell.
No, he passed that, I believe.
Yeah, he was
I
good.
remember.
You guys are solid. Sorry.
So those two things kind of coincide, though. The ice and the.
Yes, they overlap horribly.
Horribly.
Or pleasantly, if you're into that.
Pleasantly overlap. So, running out of the fog, I could assume I could clearly see the guy in the corner.
Yes. You can see clearly now the fog has gone.
I can see clearly now the fog is gone. Things are getting a little more violent right out the gate.
You can see those obstacles in your way.
I will leap up onto the table
Okay.
to clear some line of sight, and hunter's mark
Ooh,
Eleanor.
hunter's marking. That's a bit below the belt.
That's unlike a ranger. I don't know what you're doing.
Consider him marked, I guess. He can't do anything about that, right?
No. I don't know why that rolled the 2.
I think you just
But
rolled
we'll-
hunter's mark damage.
Well, if I hit, we'll use that.
We'll add that
Oh.
on, yeah.
I
Yeah.
told it to roll a 6. I don't know why I rolled a 2.
Let me re-roll. Hold on. That wasn't what I meant to roll. Hopping up on the table, Joshua whips out a short bow. Real small short bow. It's like slightly larger than a hand crossbow. Fits underneath his little black coat. And then the first roll was a 19. Let me disable.
19, you say?
Yes.
That will hit.
And that, for whatever reason, did not roll damage. Did it? No.
No.
Short bow D6.
You can hit the little short bow at the bottom there, and it should roll it.
You are correct.
Because that's how I like to do mine.
So, 4 piercing.
And 2 hunters.
2 hunters. And I don't get. I'm sorry, I haven't played this in quite a while. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the creature takes an extra D8 damage if it's below its hit point maximum. So it wasn't
Nice.
initially.
Oh, you went hunter.
He is not below his maximum, so I guess that doesn't affect this time.
No, I would say not. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, just 6 damage.
So yeah, you fire this bow. You said it's a very short bow, right?
Yeah.
You kind of jump up on the table, fire the bow. It lands true, and you see it kind of pierce into his side. Um, but as it hits, you see it kind of is almost resisted by the coldness of his skin. And whilst it does pierce in, he just kind of glances down and pulls it out and looks down angrily. But maybe isn't affected quite as much as you'd want him to be.
Okay. I'm holler out just in the midst of everything. I, I seem to believe there may be a resistance to regular weapons. And I'm gonna do a back somersault off the table and kind of crouch down below.
Does he only ever somersault, even if, you know,
Pretty
he never
standard
walks anywhere,
maneuver.
just continuous somersaults?
It's like in the video games where it's just as effective as moving, so
Yeah.
why not do it anyways?
Yeah, he's just always doing the jump.
Nice.
He's a very like agile, rolly being.
Anything else you want to do, Chasseur?
Nope. This is all. Move on
Gerhard.
to the...
You hear sort of shuffling. You hear lots of the sound of claws hitting wood, and sort of, you know, you hear a faint call out from Chasseur warning you of their seeming resistance. What would you like to do? You see nothing.
I see nothing. Do I know that? Can I kind of? I guess I'm gonna do a perception to see if I kind of get what's going on, though.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. You are so in the middle of this thing that I will say you're not going to know which is the closest edge, but you do know where you do know where everyone was situated pre the fog coming down, so you can move towards what you think was going on, if that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. And what I will do is I'm going to move, I guess 5 and 15, about there. And what's that?
You do feel as you know, because you're having to kind of take it a bit slowly, but you kind of feel solid wood under your feet.
Okay.
Now.
I am going to use my. I'm going to use, as a bonus action, I'm going to use Commander Strike. And I'm going to yell out to Chasseur, just say, hit him again. And so basically, let me see if I can actually, I don't know if I can throw this on here or not. Let me see. There it is. So I'm going to take, let's see. You forgo one of your attacks and use a bonus action. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use my bonus action to give Chasseur an attack, basically.
Okay.
And he gets to add he has to use his reaction. And you can use a superiority die to the attack's damage roll, which is a D8.
Nice.
Okay. Alright, I guess hearing this, I'll pop up real quick and loose an arrow. Short bow minimum range. What is? Does anybody know that off the top of their head?
60.
60, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
80.
so-
80.
It's got it.
Okay, so I still got regular.
Yeah. So it does.
I clicked it. Hold on. Let's try it again. There it goes. 23.
23 very much hits.
Ooh. This is going to do. Oops. The first one was 9. Plus an additional. Superiority dice. 1
Oh.
plus the Hunter's Mark plus the Colossus Slayer.
I think you may have whispered the extra damage only to Rich
It's
there.
okay, I can see it.
Well, that's fine. But the viewers
But
at
no,
home
it does.
can't.
It. Sorry, viewers at home. I know from all the feedback we got from the last video that was something that you really wanted us to improve on.
If
I
you
just disabled
submit
the
your
GM.
email to our mailing list, we'll email you out the results.
Yeah,
Get on our
exactly.
mailing list for all dice rolls.
Okay, so
You know it by now. So is that 20?
9 plus 1 plus 8. Yes, grand totaling 20.
Wow.
So you fire a second bolt, and this time with Gerhardt's commanding presence just geeing you on. You're not used to this, but you're not accustomed to fighting with him, but he just seems to have a good knowledge of how to get things done, and apparently shooting more is the way to get things done. And the bolt pierces in again, almost in the same place. Such a good shot it was, and the elf's eyes lock onto yours, and an icy glare fixes you. Roll Constitution saving throw.
Oh, boom.
Just waiting for the number now. Oh, there.
Ooh, that is a 15.
15, eh?
Nice.
Not too bad.
As that glare fixes you, you feel ice begin to form, kind of like down your arms, and you get kind of like this frostbite feeling, and it just like you almost drop your weapons, and you take 10 cold damage.
Oof. And that was with a 15.
It was very close, if that helped.
Ow!
Yikes, Aroni.
And a flicker of a, like from the kind of angry, miserable look, just a flicker of a smile touches the corner of his mouth. Anything else, Gerhard?
Nope, that'll do.
Alrighty. That brings us on to his turn. Interesting. Let's see here. Okay, that's not great.
That's what I like to hear.
He sees Ulrich emerge from the fog and dashes across with a sort of grace that only Chasseur could really match. He's just constantly jumping up and down.
How many somersaults does he do?
He throws in a couple of somersaults as well, yeah. And as he does, he just pulls a sword from its sheath, a long sword, and just lays in to Gerhard. And that is going to be
This is
a...
Ulrich. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's right. You guys.
That's right.
He gets...
Gerhard, get ready to take this damage.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry about that.
He gets a 22 to hit.
Well, I suppose.
And that is going to be... Oh, interesting. Sorry. It's going to be... Oh, that's a bit rubbish. It's going to be 4 slashing damage as he just rakes the sword across you.
Just imagine how much worse that would have been if he'd yelled parkour as he ran across.
And let's see. As he does this, almost immediately as he does this, he disappears.
Yeah.
You sort of feel the sword rake across you, and as you go to turn to face him, he just kind of blips out of existence. Rodri, your turn.
Right. I've heard various shouting and things. I'm going to walk back out. See my quarry is still there. And I'm going to command my my scroll to clobber, as before.
Mm-hmm.
Clobber. Oh, hello. 24 to hit.
That hits.
5 force damage.
5 force damage. So yes, you kind of emerge. She's kind of looking into the fog to try and see you guys. You pop out all of a sudden and catch sight of her, and the scroll just kind of whack down on her. And I mean, she is not pleased about this whole situation.
So that's what, 10? So I'll go...
Oh, the
Yeah.
let's see. We started a new round, so the ice has now melted.
Oh, lovely.
Yay.
That was from a hunter's mark, by the way. When I took damage.
Sorry, what was that?
I had to make a con save when I took damage. I forgot about
I've got you. I've got you. Yeah, I am also doing some... Okay, that's good. And... Okay. The fog actually does fade.
Oh,
See.
I was about to use that.
As the second shot... You're about to dash into the
I was
fog
about to
as you
step back in.
hear a sort of like grunt of pain from the corner, and then a sort of echoing grunt of pain from Chasseur, and yeah, and the fog suddenly fades, and you actually see the creature kind of move over to Ulrich, strike him, and then blip out. It's quite sort of disconcerting.
It's incredibly disconcerting. I don't know what happened. I'll just sort of yell out, hope everyone's okay. And I'll reach down to my side, I'll grab a hand axe, and I'll just hoy it at her.
Okay. I thought you said a handbag for a moment.
Throw the flower.
We'll see how effective it is. It might as well be a handbag. Yeah, 13 to hit.
That is not as effective as you would hope.
Okay, I have no more hand axes.
The hand axe kind of clunks into the wall beside her. She kind of just dodges back out the way.
Right, and then I'll just step in here. And that's my turn. Ah!
As you do, you see a figure behind you.
Okay, so I see him there. Let's see, what did I do? I did... yeah, no, I'm making a break for it. Coming out this way.
As you leave, he swings at you.
I know. This could go very badly wrong.
They're trying to protect their carrots.
Let's see. Oh, I got a score. Okay, that's a natural 20.
Oh dear. You know, I knew there was a chance he'd be in there. And I thought, he's probably not in there. He was.
So that's 13 slashing damage. As you're sort of turning around, he was kind of ready for that, and he slashes his sword upwards, and just a spray of blood kind of follows you out of the kitchen.
Phew. Maintain concentration.
Nice.
I'm looking a bit bloody though.
You what, Phil? You're looking what?
Bloody.
Okay. As of right now, they don't seem to, in bad condition. So that brings us on to Ulrich. Maybe?
Yes.
Hang
Um,
on, does it? Yeah. Okay.
is the
You know
one
what
on the
part of the
stair.
problem is I'm used to James being a dwarf and you being a human. That's part of the problem.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, carry on.
Is this are they up on the stairs enough? Where like could I hit them from here?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're just at the bottom of the stairs. They've got to
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
be pretty low because of the curve.
Okay. Um, I will do. So I'll move up, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
try a trip attack.
Okay. Okay, I like it.
I think I have to do this before I roll. Like I think I have to commit to the.
You have to sort of say you're going to do it before
Yeah.
you've.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before I know if I hit or miss. See if that transfers over. I don't know if it will or not. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna do an attack with the battle axe. Okay, so a 19.
19 does hit.
So I'm gonna do this. So 8 damage, and then add the superiority die to the damage attack. So just another 2, so 10 total. And then it must make a strength saving throw, and of course I don't know the DC, darn.
It's
8 plus proficiency plus strength?
strength or dex. Your
What
choice.
kind of
I
saving
guess,
throw?
Strength saving throw. Looks like it's a 12 then. You said 8 plus proficiency plus strength?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
12.
And sorry, how much damage?
10.
Okay. So you go and is the trip attack the full attack? I guess the damage is partially from. Oh well, I guess you hit her and then
You get the
use
extra
part of
damage,
your-
and then just the save is whether
I
it
was-
trips or not.
I was trying to get in my mind how it would act out, but it looks like you make a regular attack and then you trip them as kind of like a sort of afterthought kind of thing, rather than the trip is what does the damage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of swing out with your axe, not quite able to dodge out the way, and as she's reeling from the hit, you sweep your leg under, and she falls prone. She falls prone, right? Yeah, she falls prone. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Trying to read and talk at the same time.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and she is down beneath you. She looks up at you, angry at your ability to outmaneuver her. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's always good. Ugh,
Oh dear.
it's actually what I'm good at too. 6 total on a natural one.
I know them feelings. So
Is this interrupting my action?
no, it's as she's kind of like reeling on the floor.
But I mean,
Um,
it's during my turn.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
It's I guess it's basically a reaction.
Okay.
And yeah, she stares up at you, and again, you feel that same thing. Like as you're holding your weapons and everything, you feel, and you feel the coldness in your arm. You look down, you actually see frost forming up your arms, and you take 9 cold damage.
Oof.
And she actually says, "I wasn't joking. You should not have done this." Anything else you want to do?
Um, yeah, that might have changed what I was going to do, though. I guess I'll. Oh wait, action surge. You can do second wind is bonus action, and action surge doesn't take an action, right? Like technically, can do both.
Yeah, accent surge is just like a free,
Yep, free action.
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
So I will do both then. I don't have to decide. I will use my second wind
Okay,
as my bonus action. So,
do it.
Hell yeah, fighters.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous right now.
Oh, there's my 9 hit
You
points
and me
back.
both.
Good
Excellent.
friend, Ralphie.
Then I will action surge to get another attack. And will this be at advantage since she's
Prone target.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oof, good thing.
Well, you say that. You swing down at her prone self, and the coldness is setting in, and you're just unable to generate enough power, and it kind of clings off one of the little kind of shoulder armor that she's wearing, and she just shakes her head at you.
Bummer.
She's not upset. She was disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it even worse.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, Chasseur.
Oh, seeing Rodri run back in, bad shape. Ulrich over there handling business. I don't know if I'm fully. Well, Rodri ran out of the room though after running into it.
I straight Scooby-Dooed that man. I ran into the room, immediately turned around, looking a lot redder.
And
Yeah,
I have.
you saw Rodri enter the room, and then you saw a bunch of Rodri's blood enter the room.
Hunter's Mark also gives an idea of like me knowing where the target is.
Yeah, and that's not broken by teleportation, right?
Don't believe so.
I think you just have to be on the same plane of existence.
For like the duration. Knowing this, then I'm going to scoot around. 5, 10, 15, and kind of use the counter as cover and ready in action if blue elfie friend comes running out. I will ready in action if he comes out and advances on Rodri.
Okay.
And I will loose an arrow at that point.
Okay. Did you hide?
I'm not full. If I can, actually, yeah. Not. I've never.
Can level 1s do that as well? Do they get that free? Do they get that bonus?
No. So never mind.
Oh,
I can't.
okay. Alrighty, cool.
So I just run up and kind of like prep an arrow, using the counter as cover.
Alrighty.
He non-mechanically hides.
Gerhard.
Yeah.
Yarp. All right. I'm going to analyze the situation real quick. How rough does Rodri look?
Rodri, how rough do you look?
I'm bleeding chips, man. I mean, I'm
right.
bloody. I'm like, I kind of staggered out there, but I'm not like, I don't look on death's door.
Okay.
I just look beat up.
Okay. I will. Okay, I'm going to use another commander strike. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yell to Ulrich and just say push your advantage, so he can do that.
Oh,
He gets to
Ulrich,
make another
you
attack.
can make
Cool.
another attack at advantage.
Okay. Darn. Not great.
You swing down, G'd up by your companion. You swing down again, but this time she just she moves with almost preternatural agility. She just kind of manages to roll out of the way, and your axe kind of thunks down into the steps, somewhat frustratingly.
Only somewhat frustrating. I would have sensed more than only somewhat, but
I'm
good to
gonna
know.
cl-
It would be more frustrating if you weren't having your emotions calmed.
I see. Fair enough.
I'm,
You feel strangely okay about the whole situation.
I'm
Better
gonna
luck next time.
close up too, so I'm gonna go up to help Bullard,
Okay.
seeing that apparently he needs the help.
Does it not seem like I have this well in hand?
I mean, I don't know why. You did better when she was up, so.
I know.
So yeah, that'll. Actually, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna take my action surge now, since she's prone.
You, Gerhard, also technically, I think Commander Strike says when you take the attack action, so you would have had to run up attack and then give the order. So you get a free strike, maybe?
But I have to give up an attack to do it.
Yeah, he only has one right now. So
Forgo
yeah,
one of your. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so he essentially attacks thin air
Yeah.
to give it up until he gets a second attack. Then he
Yes.
can start.
But I
Stack.
think what's cool is you can do the commanding strike for the first action, and if you're dual wielding, you can bonus action attack with your offhand because you technically took the attack action.
Interesting.
Which
I
is
suppose
cool.
that's true. I mean,
But
I
you-
do see.
You
It's
use
a-
a
it's a-
bonus action to direct a companion?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, does
Yeah.
actually
It is a bonus
casting
action.
commanding strike uses the bonus action? Oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that at this stage it basically takes up my bonus action and my
Yeah,
my
I
attack
didn't
action.
realize
So,
that, yeah.
but I'm actually going to action surge though,
Okay.
and I am going to take my turn at hacking at the downed elf lady.
She's right there, ready to get hacked.
Well, we'll see about that. She seems to be doing a good job of wiggling and wobbling. All right, so short sword.
She's just lying perfectly still. You guys just really suck at hitting
No.
people.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like that goblin.
Yeah.
16.
16. You swing down, and yeah, you miss. You just Ulrich watching this, you're like, oh no, he's doing this clunk. Oh, same problem.
Or maybe I directed him how to attack, and that was the
Yeah.
real problem. She always dodges to the left.
She's got that one move that works every time.
Yeah. 90% of the time, it works every time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alrighty. Yeah, guess who's coming out to play? It's me. You see Ulrich. Not Ulrich, Chesser. You see the male elf run out towards your friend. Feel free to take a shot, as it were.
You just hear, haha! And this shot. 17.
You are right. As he runs out, he hears a haha, and he looks in your direction, sees the arrow coming, and dodges out of the way.
No!
And another slashing motion at Rodri's back. Let's see if it hits. 15.
No.
Okay.
17.
It swings just wildly by. And he goes, let me see if. And then he pops out of existence and is right by you, Chesser. And he says, "Oh, you've been annoying me."
I get to see this a lot.
And we roll back around to the female elf. She sort of dodging left and right from these, or left and left from these swings from these two fighters. She gives one more shake of the head and she says, "Oh, children." She pops out of existence behind you and says, "You really must cease this." Holds out a hand towards you, and you see a wintry blast aim in your direction and just coat the whole corner of the inn. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, both of you.
The giant scroll doesn't
The giant scroll.
protect us at all. Oh, darned. You said con save?
Yeah. Very nice.
I don't know what happened there.
You rolled 3 of them.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's what happened. You cheated. You just rolled 3.
Well, no, I clicked it. What's weird is I clicked it once. It was still on advantage, and I just waited. Nothing happened. Then I clicked it back to normal and clicked it again. But somehow that one came out first. So I don't know what happened. Any of those numbers interest you, Rich?
Yeah.
I could re-roll. I think the 15 is the most.
I'm gonna take the mean average there, because I have no idea what happened either. That's the bizarre sequence. But you both are able to sort of turn your back on this blast, so avoiding like the full effect. But it is a cold, bitter, frosty wind, colder than even you felt as you were pummeled by ice. And you each take 17 points of cold damage.
Good gosh, again?
And that is half.
Oh,
Wow.
Are you trying to work out what spell it is, Phil?
I think I got there, and that's not good. Because I mean, it came out in a cone shape. I'm assuming,
It did.
And it was quite cold.
and it was quite cold. See,
It was.
My initial thought, until you said the damage, was maybe it's just like a reskinned burning hands or something. No, much worse.
Yeah.
I put ice on my scroll in
It's
case
very
that wasn't
festive.
clear.
Very festive.
Perhaps we should not have done this. As she said multiple times.
I mean, she shot first. In fairness,
To be fair, she started it.
yep.
Did she?
yeah, kind of.
Okay, yeah, I think the kind of is the important thing here. And she just lowers her hand to her side, and she says, "Huh, still alive."
We can do something else.
That was me screaming.
Yeah, do something else. Rodri, you see your friends battered by ice.
I'm pretty battered, just so you know. You can tell, probably.
Right, understood. I will do a healing word on. I'm assuming you probably look the worst right now, so yeah, I'll do a healing word on Gerhard.
What was that?
Healing word on Gerhard at first level.
I will take it.
7.
Cool. Thank you. Solid.
As you're kind of assessing, you glance at the female elf. She looks pretty fresh. She looks ready to go.
Yeah.
I guess you can kind of, if you're facing that I guess you're kind of,
I can.
we're facing into
Yeah,
the
I can
main
kind
room.
of see everything. Yeah.
It was too late. You'd seen everything. But yeah, the male elf also looks surprisingly, in considering he's been shot a few times, looks in surprisingly good nick.
Um. Would I know what type of elves these are out of curiosity?
Roll me either a history, a religion, or an arcana check, whichever you fancy.
I'm proficient in all three, but not that proficient.
Um, you're not 100% sure. Well, hang on. You're an elf, right?
Half elf.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're not entirely sure.
But what's the difference, really? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
But what you do feel, you do sense that these are not any kind of elf that you've come across before.
Okay.
They're not your common or garden elves.
I am going to go 5, 10.
If you were a full elf, I was going to give you advantage there, but half elf, no.
20, 25, 30. So I'm going up the stairs. With my action, I will dash.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to keep going up the stairs.
Probably a wise decision.
Or a terrible one. I really don't know. So that's 5. At that point, I'm sort of off the map, I guess.
Yes. You've made it off the map. You've successfully escaped.
Come on!
You find yourself in a corridor
Yep.
that seems to lead to bedrooms. The general look of the place is the same. You do also see more of the. You're kind of in a bit of a hurry, but you as you run by, you see more kind of works of art and such.
So I'll sort of run down the corridor looking for what might be their room, essentially.
Okay, as the couple of rooms you actually get to pass before your dash is over, you see them nicely furnished, but they seem similar to what you've seen down below.
Okay.
Well, I say nicely furnished. They're furnished in the same way as the rooms down below, but they do contain nice things.
Yeah.
Again,
So it's like
but
shabby
there's nothing
furniture.
that draws you. You don't. None of them look particularly more lived in that you passed.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a few more rooms further down.
And so it's just like single corridor rooms on either side.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess that's my turn.
Okay. That brings us on to Ulrich. Ulrich, you see Rogery sprint past you. Well, you kind of see it. You're trying to kind of like scrape the ice out of your eyes.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. He is very hurting and very cold now.
It's been a rough day for Ulrich.
Yeah, not ideal. just trying to think if he would actually consider giving up. Probably not.
He always was a bit of a stubborn mule.
Yeah, he's fought a lot of giants.
I don't know if he had at this point. He's only level 4.
Well,
actually,
fair enough.
we definitely
Yeah,
had ogres by this point.
Probably still, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's counting the spell slots. She's got to be out of them soon, right?
He is just an old cop. She's got one in the chamber.
Are we just going to ignore the
Don't tell
fact
me
that...
it's his last day before retirement.
You're right.
No. But his pension. He is vested in his pension tomorrow. Is there a spot? Man, I don't know. This is tough. I'm sorry. We don't have any potions, do we?
Depends on. I mean,
I certainly don't have any listed on my character sheet.
You guys have been having a bit of a slack times lately. Gambling aside. You weren't there for the gambling.
Will
so.
work for potions.
would anybody know if I necessarily have one? Would I have divulged that information previously?
I don't know. Is that the kind of thing Gerhard would do? Would he be like, I've got a potion? Look at my potion.
Probably not. Gerhard may or may not have one. So
I might have noticed it rifling through your bags while you slept.
Okay, I think what he would do is probably like move maybe over here.
Mm-hmm.
And put away the crossbow. Drop the battle axe. I guess, is a crossbow one you have to load?
You could have it preloaded, I think.
You could have one in the
You just have
chamber.
to reload it. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So maybe he kind of gets behind this table and takes a crossbow shot, drops the battle axe,
Okay.
and tries to take a
Shoot away.
crossbow shot.
I like the way you kept saying maybe there as if you still hadn't fully committed to the idea.
Well, I was thinking I would have to wait till next turn, but then it didn't miss anyway. But I was thinking there's no reason not to try to take a shot that turn, I guess.
Yeah, she just she actually kind of sees it coming towards her, and it's a pretty true shot, but she just kind of like flicks her arm up and deflects it off of her bracer and just shrugs sadly.
Like Wonder Woman style.
Yes. She doesn't sort of bang them together or anything, but
Cool.
yeah, she almost nonchalantly just kind of like brings up, almost like you would with a shield, but just with the bracer, and just kind of deflects it directly at no, not directly at
Well, that was my very productive turn. Next.
Alrighty, Chasseur.
Chasseur's gonna take the short bow and let it fall, kind of like a bracelet over his forearm, and he's gonna like kind of put his hands up in like a let's talk about this gesture. Yeah, perhaps we got off on the wrong foot.
Are you talking to the elf next to you?
Yeah. Maybe this is something we could discuss over maybe a fine wine or a beverage. And take the dodge action.
Roll me a persuasion check. I'm going to give you disadvantage for taking the dodge action.
Ah, okay.
Just because that suggests that you're still kind of intending to continue.
6.
6. Okay. he kind of listens to your words, but then sees you go into a defensive posture and sort of, gives you a sort of a look of distrust. After all, tabaxi are just as dangerous with no weapon. Huh? All right, Gerhard.
Oish. I am going to bonus action second wind.
Okay.
So that's D10 plus my fighter level. Okay. Okay, so 13.
Nice.
Yes, much needed.
Very nice.
That doubles for me. All right. So, oish. Screw it. I'm just gonna go up and attack her. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack her.
Okay. Go for it.
Nothing.
You're a fighter, that's what fighters do.
Yes. 19.
A 19 will hit.
11 damage.
Nice. So you get over to her. There's like a strange look of kind of resignation, kind of a somberness has begun to take hold now again. But as the stinging blade, as that's kind of forming, you kind of dart in, swing that blade, and there's like a little kind of wake up and a glare at you. Roll me a Constitution save.
Okay. $13.
You feel that coldness that others have felt. You were just recovering from a few moments ago where you were completely obliterated by ice, but you feel that coldness again in your hands, and you take 7 cold damage.
Okay. Action. Okay, I'm done.
All right. You're looking pretty rough, right, Chasseur?
Quite.
Let's see.
Looking rough, but also evasive.
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, he wasn't fully convinced by your display last turn. So he just kind of flicks his blade up, trying to pierce your defenses at disadvantage. Oof. But there is a touch too much nonchalance, and he just kind of swings by you. Let's see. He just kind of backs off into the corner temporarily to see how things develop. And when I say backs into the corner, I mean he zips in and out of existence, and then ends in the corner. Yep. You kind of see him leaning against the wall again, sword still in hand, but trying to assess what's going on with you. The female elf turns to you again, Gerhard, and says, she just kind of sighs, Um, and she actually kind of slings her bow agilely and just in one motion draws her own sword and like swings it up at you. Pretty badly. Good news, everyone. My d20s have gone really bad. So yeah, you are able to deflect it away with your shield.
Yeah, I have one.
With your shield, and she kind of prepares herself to bring it back down. Let me just see real quick. Huh, I'm rolling well on those though. Okay, yeah. Rodri.
Hold on, can I have a repost. So if she missed me, I could actually attack as with the reaction.
Okay.
With
Go
my
for it.
superiority die. I will click that. Sorry, Rodri.
No, that's fine.
Alright. So that's what that is. Let's see. Hopefully it works.
All you've got to do is hit this really, really good elf. How hard could that be?
Come on. 16.
Yeah, you sort of your reaction is lightning fast, but despite her own lack of contact, she manages to bring the sword back down to parry. You're in a classic sword fight right now.
Yay. Okay.
Her movements are a little worrying to you because she seems to. There is a sort of. There's almost an artfulness in the way that she handles the weapons as well. Like where you are, you are obviously very disciplined and precise with your blows. There's kind of a grace to the way that she moves as she does these things. It's very there's little effort put in, but the movement is extreme, despite the lack of effort. Sorry, Rodri.
I'm going to keep running down the corridor.
Okay, make a perception check as you run. You're not going to need to use your full run to get to the end of the corridor. It'll just be a regular move.
13.
13. As you glance in each room, unfortunately you don't see anything else suggestive of anything. The rooms look mostly dusty, and there are artifacts in them, but again, dusty. Like nothing's really been disturbed up here for quite a while.
Okay.
But there are more collections of nice things.
So, how much movement to get to the end of the hallway there?
I would say. So you've probably got 10 feet of normal move left.
Okay.
And it's going to take you probably that plus another move to get back to the stairs.
I will use all of that.
Use your dash to get to the top of the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear the sound of clinking and clanking from the swords. Mostly clinking. Any is that pretty much taking you up? Got no bonuses?
Actually, let me check. Yeah, I have to be able to see. Okay. Never mind. I can't see anyone. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Ulrich.
So just to make sure, reload, like I can shoot the next turn, right? I don't have to like spend. Do I spend a bonus action or?
I can't remember crossbows.
I think it's just one shot
Part
per
of your
round.
movement?
Just I
Yeah.
can't do it. Yeah, I just can't do it twice in the same round.
Unless you
Take
Get a
crossbow
feat.
expert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll peek up over the table and take a shot.
at Elf Lady. It's gone so well for me so far. I think I have to roll a 15 on the die to hit. So let's see. Yeah, that won't do it.
Oh my
4 is
gosh,
definitely not going to hit.
we suck so bad.
Yeah,
I had a
you
really bad rolling day.
yeah, you shoot, but I don't know. There's just something about these elves that is just predicting what you do almost before you do it.
Um, don't really have much else to do. Yeah, I guess I'll be done. Still gonna kind of try to hide behind that table as best I can.
Mm-hmm. Chester, I like to think that you're just sitting in that seat there,
Yeah.
casually shooting off crossbow bolts.
Now, when he leaned back on the wall, I kind of like put an elbow on the counter, like the elbow lean.
Nice.
Okay, so Ulrich and Gerhard are still hack slapping away.
Poorly.
The pictures on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
were they all the same, or were they of just various different types of pictures?
Various different things, like, you know, maybe a castle in one, maybe a sort of regal portrait in another. Very much varied from what you glanced before things kicked off.
Okay, and all right. I'm going to leap up on the table
Mm-hmm.
and shout out, "Now wait! Perhaps we can just simply stop and discuss this like civilized gentlemen." And
Okay.
drop my dodge action, just arms stretched out, kind of like trying to stop the ruckus.
Okay, cool.
And that's my turn.
Gerhard.
Well, I guess hearing that, I will stop, but I'm gonna hold my action, and if I see anybody attack, I'm going to swing at the chick in front of me.
Okay, so you kind of like pull out of the sort of conflict to a degree, but just stay readied.
Yeah, because like I want to see, like, you know, I'll try to honor.
Kind of hold
just
your
sort of-
swing for a
Yeah,
moment.
hold my swing, but like I'm basically cocked and ready. So
Okay. Alrighty, so held action there. The elf in the corner shrugs. The elf with the bow. Seeing you do that, she takes a step back. Turns towards Ulrich and swings the bow back out and just holds there, looking at Ulrich. Rodri, you hear Chesser shouting something. It's pretty quiet in here, so you probably would hear it.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of run down the stairs.
Just make me a quick dexterity saving throw.
I shouldn't have said I run down the stairs. Hey yo!
Okay, you begin to run a little bit too fast, and then remember that they are coated in ice, and you manage to slow yourself down just enough to avoid kind of falling headlong into the room. But
Um,
people kind of in the inn in this kind of tense standoff kind of hear a whoa, 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 as from there.
I've got it. It's under control. And I just sort of look around.
You see a bit of a tense standoff, I think it would be fair to say.
I'm going to call off my spiritual scroll.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who looks the worst right now, health-wise? Like, is anyone, like, tottering?
I can see that Chaucer is on 8. Can anybody beat that for lowness?
I have 6.
Okay.
We're all looking pretty rough.
I'll say, I'll look over there and just say, Ulrich, may Ogma bring you health and wisdom. And I'll cast Healing Word at first level. Wow, 8.
Nice.
And I feel like that. Oh,
Who was that at, Phil? Oh, sorry. I didn't
that
catch
was you.
Say it again, Phil.
it. You went all Transformer there for a second.
Apologies.
You still have to say it again, though.
You, Ulrich.
Every time he's
Thank you.
repeated himself, it is silence on the repeat.
Yeah.
It was
I
Ulrich.
asked again,
Ulrich.
it wasn't gonna be me.
Ulrich. Ulrich.
Oh, we
Ulrich.
can hear you now.
Just covering my
Dude,
bases.
everything's coming through pretty well.
And I'm still concentrating. But I will. I'll sort of keep my hands where they can see them.
Okay.
I'm not actually doing jazz hands.
All right.
So he was in the middle of reloading the crossbow. So he's got like the crossbow in one hand and a bolt in the other. And when she turned to him with the bow raised, he just kind of stopped. So we'll kind of hold both up in separate hands and just slowly lay him down on the table. I think that's it.
She lets the string on her bow slacken. And the elf in the corner kind of takes a step forward. He flicks his sword up into the air, about 6 feet, and it spins, and he just, like, as he walks forward, the sword slides right into its sheath, and he just continues to walk forward.
I hate that these guys are so cool.
And he just kind of, like, again, there's like a degree of sort of shrugging acceptance of the situation. And the woman says, "So you want to talk now, then?"
Who said we never wanted to talk in the first place? Things
I-
might have.
I just wanted the gloom to go away.
Oh, I've wanted the gloom to go away for a long time.
Yeah, but then when it did, you got very angry.
When you mess with my emotion, that is as bad a thing as you can do to one of our kind.
Forgive me, I must confess, I'm not really sure what sort of elf you are.
We are the Eladrin. I'm not really sure what kind of elf you are.
No, I'm sort of a mutt, I'm afraid. I believe my my father was a wood elf, though.
Yes, we know of them. So, we do not wish to die after all.
So we never wished in the first place.
I don't know. A few minutes ago, you looked like you wanted to.
Should not confuse self-defense with suicidal tendencies.
No, it was the sadness. I saw the sadness in your eyes briefly.
Was that not you that put it there?
No?
Was it your friend over there?
Me? No. I empathize.
Just before you showed up, there was something, a wave, it washed over. That is when the sadness occurred. It was when, just prior to your appearance.
Yes, we feel it too.
And this haunts you?
All who come here feel it.
Why
Really?
why are you still here?
What did you do when you picked up the thing?
I just picked up the thing because I wanted to see what it was.
No, I understand. I was about to do the same thing.
Those are ours. We've collected those.
How long have you been here?
A century.
Since the war?
Yes.
So are you from Mithranor?
No. We are from the wilds.
Oh.
When we came, we were very different.
Different how?
We were happy. We were in the midst of summer. But since then, we've fallen to winter.
Now that they've sort of identified as a Ladrin, does that mean anything to me?
I think you could roll another history check with a name. I don't know if anybody else is proficient in history.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I roll then?
Yeah, you roll too.
Not a forte.
25. Natural 20 on that one.
The half elf is like, no idea.
Yeah, you're not really getting a lot, Roger. It's still a bit confusing to you. Gerhard, you have, I guess, in your studies,
Yeah.
you were a studious young
Brat.
person. You've read many myths and legends, and you have read of a Ladrin. They are a more fey cousin to elves. They mostly do exist in the Feywild, and they are hyper-emotional creatures. They're ruled by that emotion, and they are, depending on that emotion, they flicker between the seasons as their lives go on, depending on how they feel and what stage in life they're at sometimes. And now you begin to put the pieces together. They also are great, as with all elves, they are lovers of beautiful and artistic things. and they to some degree covet them. So you kind of, as this conversation is happening, the pieces are beginning to kind of like go together in your head of what these are.
Like whenever you say they're like different, does this like when they're in the winter? Does that mean like they're towards the end of their life type thing, or is it just like it can alter between their?
It can do, but they can alter almost day by day depending on how they feel. So sometimes it's brought on by their situation.
Right. So like the fact that they're like super, like does that? Do I know if that influences like their powers too? Like they seem to be super like cold based right now.
Yeah,
So
it kind of influences it almost changes their nature and abilities depending on what season they have moved to.
I'll say, are you trapped here?
We are. We
What
were
happened?
tricked. We were tricked by an elven wizard.
Why?
He made us an offer. He contacted us in our home and made us an offer. If we would come fight for him, he would reward us with beautiful and exquisite art from the artisans of Mithranor, which even where we come from, we know of. There have been Eladrin in that city, so we knew of what wonders it held. But when we got here and we were finished helping him, he trapped us here, for he did not want to relinquish those rewards to us. Why he chose this place I do not know. I believe it's because his time was limited, and this was a bustling inn back in those times. Somehow he bound us to this place. We did, admittedly, reap our revenge on him. Perhaps with a little less forethought than we should have. Because once we took our revenge, we did not know how to leave. And have been trapped here since.
There are rumors that people get lost in here, they don't come out. Are you the source of that rumor?
Perhaps people come in here, they get very sad, and they find themselves unable to keep living.
Is that what happened to young Steg?
Was that his name? We did not speak to him, but we saw him come in.
What happened to him?
Nothing happened to him. He just lay down and eventually stopped breathing.
What about the blood on the rug?
Yes, that's a mystery to us too. I don't know if he gave that out or if it was from another place. It was too sad to watch him just give up.
If you will permit me, I have a theory. I will need to cast a spell.
What kind of spell?
A type of divination.
What do you intend to do?
When we first came in here, I detected lingering magic on those banners. I need to understand them better, because the type of magic is one that could be involved in some sort of containment, potentially. It could be the cause of what's holding you here.
Anything you can find out.
So I'll reach into my little component pouch and pull out my pearl. And I'll go over to the banner that's right next to me here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll very nervously touch the banner. Because I have to be touching it. And I will focus for a minute on the banner and cast Identify.
Okay. Alright. So, pull it up for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just about to hit it.
Okay. Well, that should help. So as you cast that, you learn that there is indeed some kind of it's not a specific spell that you know. The magic is a little alien to you, but you do understand the nature of what was done. And what was done is that the banners will link together, and their proximity to each other has formed almost a protective barrier around this this building that has a binding effect. You assume that when it's cast, the target of this binding can be chosen. But it is the proximity. They need to stay close when they're close to each other. That is what basically links that together. That sort of binding circle.
Right.
You don't. There's not words for it that you know, but you understand its nature.
I sort of come out of the little mini trance there and say, "Okay, I mostly understand what is happening, though not fully, because I think this only explains half of what's happening. But if we separate these banners, it should undo the binding that keeps you here. But it does not explain the powerful sense of foreboding everybody has."
Gerhard, you listening to this, you do understand that that is a byproduct of their nature. Rodri doesn't understand it because he's got no clue what's going on with these Eladrin people. But you are aware that such is the power of emotion in these creatures that whatever season they're in, they actually project that emotion beyond themselves, and it can almost permeate others.
I'll say I think they're so sad that it affects everybody around.
I see. Well,
You just kind of see them look at each other, and there's just sadness, really. There's no other kind of.
Does it look like that we can move these banners?
Is there some way we can help?
As far as you can tell, they are just sort of hung on the poles on the walls, like almost like curtain rods would be.
If we were to burn down the entire building, I mean, just saying, would it possibly free them?
That is what we always considered. He told us that we would always be trapped here, unless the bold banners was sundered. We always assumed that meant that we would have to destroy the building and kill ourselves.
Maybe it just means the banners.
If that is what he meant, that is a cruel punishment.
Indeed.
He was a cruel man, it sounded like.
Yes.
Rodri, do these things seem like that they're dangerous in any way outside of like their, binding elements?
Not that I could see. I didn't. Nothing that I've been able to ascertain from them would suggest that they pose a threat other than this binding.
Alright, I'm gonna go up to the one that Rodri's next to, and I'm just gonna yank it as hard as I can to see if I can just pull it down.
Alright. As you yank it, roll me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Sweet. Oh boy.
Didn't think it was going to be that easy.
Whatever.
I think we were all
He's
thinking
not
it.
wise, so 10.
10. No, it's a fail.
Oh, that's
So
failing. Now you're dead.
As you yank it off the wall, a large clump of dust that was on the top falls right into your eye, and boy does it sting. But you do manage to get that banner down.
Alright, well, as I'm wiping my eyes, I've clutched the banner to myself basically, and sort of just awkwardly sort of walk past the Eladrin. Excuse me.
You accidentally step on her foot, and she raises her hand, freezes you to the spot.
Yeah, now I'm dead. I'm just gonna walk out. I'm gonna try to walk out the door.
They both kind of look alarmed at each other, and she says, "Wait,
Yes.
if this works, we will not be here. Whilst I think that is what we want. Give me a moment to collect a few things."
Will you immediately leave? Or do you have a choice?
I believe there's a possibility. I don't know. I thought we would eventually die here.
Okay. Do what you need to.
So she kind of moves around downstairs, runs upstairs for a moment, and you see her kind of pause at each of the objects that are here and kind of weigh up. And some she immediately grabs, some she kind of longingly kind of puts a hand to, but just leaves. But she gathers a reasonable amount of things. Some are jewelry that she can easily just kind of put on. Others she's kind of just secreting in her cloak. One or two of the paintings she just holds and hands one to the male, and she just looks at him and says, "Could we be going home?" And he just shakes his head. He doesn't really believe it, really. But they both stand there in the middle of the room, and she nods back to you.
Okay. I'm gonna open the door and just walk out into the rain, I suppose. Just, keep going.
As soon as you step through the door, the rest of you in the room you see them begin to actually fade in front of you, and like there's like the look of hopelessness in the male elf's eyes, and the females for the most part, turns into a realization. And even as they're beginning to dissipate in front of your eyes, you see the blues begin to begin to fade into greens, and the sort of blue hair begin to kind of like sprinkle with sort of pinks and reds. And just as they fade entirely from view, a small smile is creeping onto both their faces, and they are gone. And the weight that you were feeling, even through your spell, which honestly has probably faded away by now.
Yeah.
The weight that has kind of come back on you guys, because you don't have to save for it, so the weight does kind of come back on you, but you feel that instantly begin to kind of lift, and the unpleasant heaviness of the air in this place, even with no change to the physical interior of the place, you feel it begin to kind of recede, and you feel a little bit better. Gerhard, even outside, you kind of feel that. And you're not quite sure if it's just because you've left and you're outside away from that oppressiveness, or what, but...
Your heart just starts running away.
Yeah, I'm free!
It's like, I'm going back up. I'm going home.
And, yeah. And you are all left in a peaceful, dusty, strangely decorated inn. And I guess for the sake of the fact that it's 11:53, we'll say that that is where your journey here ends, and you all just about survive to be able to go maybe have a bit of a rest and then collect your payment.
Chaucer like collapses on top of the counter, his arms like hanging off. He just summons a bunch of good berries and starts eating them.
I forgot he's a good berry fiend.
I am so very sorry, everybody. I think I may have, in my attempts to help us all survive that Great Depression, I think I may have made everything so much worse.
Your heart was in the right place. Do not worry, Rodri.
Yeah, you had no idea that it was the worst possible spell you could.
I mean, it literally.
I mean, you had no way of knowing.
It was literally the worst.
We are alive.
Nothing else I could have done would have been worse than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
was.
true. It was literally an attack to them.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. Poor kid just came in here and died.
So, did they clarify? I mean, I know they didn't really have too much information, so he just died of. Did he get
sadness.
stuck or sadness, or
It just seems like, yeah, he just came in, he lay down, curled into a ball, and just gave up.
That's messed up.
I'm still confused about the blood.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? That's not helpful.
Oh, you want all the answers?
Yeah. So, I obviously we could fight if we want to, and it didn't seem like things were going well, and we weren't fighting well. But it also seemed like they were better than us. So, was that a winnable fight?
Probably not.
All dice games are winnable. However,
However,
the odds were not in our favor.
Well, so obviously we get 200 gold each, which is aces.
Yes.
Now, out of curiosity, there's a lot of artifacts still left in the building. And the building
Mhm.
has no owner right now. So the way I see it, those are theoretically fair game too. So is there any way to
Loot the place completely?
maybe just pick some the choicer items at least that would be
The ones that don't look like they really belong.
I think
Gold
if
plates.
yeah, there is. And I think what you actually discover as well is that some of the things, or a lot of the things, seem like stuff that people could potentially have been traveling with. And you realize that perhaps a lot of these things were gained from people who came and stayed here and didn't leave.
Welcome to the hotel in California.
So probably most of the owners are not going to worry about losing them.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll try and work that out for you because I feel like you guys probably do need some funsy stuff for next time we do this. You
I
know,
wouldn't
the
mind.
option to take some weapons or the option to... I mean, when I say weapons, I mean kind of magical stuff
Yeah.
and such.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Need to visit a shop. I got 300 gold and don't have a crowbar.
I know, right?
Maybe you
I
can
would
maybe you can buy a magical crowbar.
Ooh.
magical crowbar.
They call
It
that
would-
a sword plus one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I would use. I would say that like it probably is completely unnecessary, but I'd probably get a thing or two to send back home
Hmm.
because it seems like some of the kitschy stuff that my grandfather would like.
I like that even in these sort of semi one-off things, you're still role-playing stuff to, you know, that you don't get just for pure advantage in your next encounters.
Heck yeah. I was about to say, you said there's a gem necklace somewhere. I was gonna sneak that into my pocket.
Yes, I will assume that you guys loot this place thoroughly, and try and work out what that might mean for you.
Well, it's been lean
that's-
times, you said, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dales
yeah,
have been good for work, but not good for money.
at the end, I'd pull out the potion of healing and be like, yeah, maybe this would have been helpful at some point.
Did I tell you guys I had this?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
Just sort of cuff them down the back of the head.
yeah.